Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got a big, exciting night lined up for you guys. We got a really cool guest. Appreciate him jumping on with us. But as always, before we get into him, we got to talk about our hosts. They're here every week. Steven Hatch, what's up, man?
What's going on, guys? Back for another episode, 72. And this one's a little special for sure. So you already know what's coming up, Ryan.
We got a very special anniversary, and we'll bring him on in too. Our co-host is having his year anniversary on the show. What's up, Brando Baird?
Year long, 52 weeks we've been here. It feels like I'm catching up to you guys. One day I will not catch up to you guys. Never. Actually.
That's the point. Yeah, we have a 20 episode head start. We're trying to get out in front of you.
Yeah, good luck.
You know, in my mind, I'm on your heels. So
good. I made it further than trying to catch up.
Yeah.
You did make it further than Evan for sure. You probably doubled his time.
Yeah. Wait, who's Evan? We don't even know who that is. He doesn't.
Oh,
yeah,
you're right.
I don't know.
Some random guy. But let's jump on into this, guys. If you're listening to audio and you haven't seen him on the video yet, well, go check out the video. Go check it out. It's awesome over there. Actually, I'm gonna pause myself. Before we do that, I gotta talk about our sponsors, because if I don't do that, the lights don't stay on and we can't keep the podcast going. So hey, Brandon, what's that bag next to you?
I got some liquid IV here. I got 2 more in the bag. I got it everywhere. I got it. You don't even want to know where I have
stuff. It's pretty great. It's the awesome hydration multiplier. We're going to talk about that more later on in the show. But if you want more information, go check it out at liquidiv.com. The other thing that Hatch has got it as well, the little NECTR energy pouch. Same thing with them. We're going to talk about them more later, but NECTR.energy is the website if you want to go check that out now. Also, new sponsor for the show, Welts. Shout out Scott Stewart down there in Texas with Welts Clothing.
Got it.
Use code FTS over there. Save yourself a little pocket change. And go grab something from over there and earn your Welts. I love that company slogan. Brandon's getting his traditional liquid IV good to go here. So yeah, he'll be hydrated for the show. But without further ado, guys, I'm glad I caught myself there. Let's bring in our awesome guest, Mr. Ronnie Dizon. What's up, man? How you doing over there?
What's going on, guys? Yeah, I'm doing incredible right now. It's super cold here, and I'm just staying inside.
Smart idea. Shout out to the gang. Dizon Docs and all that. Appreciate you stopping on by. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. I like what you guys are doing here. I'm really excited to be on it.
Well,
Thank
awesome,
you, bro.
man.
Seriously.
I mean, let's kind of jump into this a little bit. I mean, for the more traditional paintball side, I wanted to start with just a little bit of kind of your thoughts on Heat's performance at Cup. I mean, obviously it wasn't what you guys wanted, definitely. And, I just kind of wanted to pick your brain about that before we go into some more of the historical stuff, because it's probably a little more fresh on the mind.
Yeah, we sucked, huh?
I mean, I'm not going to say that, but
relatable.
Yeah. No, we sucked. We sucked real bad. I mean, if you could write a worse performance, we'd probably just score less points, I guess. But we just did not have a good event. It was just underperforming to the max. And I think we just, a few things were done, in my opinion, that could have been done differently. And, obviously there's 2 sides to every story, and it is what it is. But I think moving forward into next year, a lot of the guys, that kind of just kicked us in the gut. So a lot of the guys are really hungry, and everybody's training this whole off season and counting down the days. And that's really what all that matters, is because it's over and it's in the past. So, Dynasty had a good year. Shout out to Marcelo. I was just playing Virtua with him the other day, and we were talking about it. He's, it was cool to pick his brain about things, and, it is what we couldn't have had an any worse performance, and we have to redeem ourselves coming into this next season.
Yeah. Well, and it's good that you guys are taking away as kind of a positive, I mean, like you said, it's a negative experience, but if you can take away that motivation and kind of, all right, blinders on for next season, let's go through this off season and really take it seriously, then hey, it may be, a very beneficial thing, when the whole story is written.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I just think that it was, for me personally, I just know that we are definitely capable of playing better than that. Obviously, we had 2 finals appearances this year, so we just got to go back and do the work. And that's the hardest part about this, is to be consistent with the work. So not much needs to be said, but that's basically all she wrote.
All right. No, yeah. And it's I feel like that's a good starting point because we do want to ask you about some of more positive moments back in time tonight. But so starting from there, it's funny you mentioned Virtua. We are going to get into that later. I know we've actually talked about it before a little bit. We have some thoughts and discussions on it. But let's start out. One of our kind of Patreon bonuses is we do these movie nights where we'll kind of watch along in the old piece of PayPal content and kind of commentate, give our thoughts on it, and just hang out.
I love that.
More bonus content, kind of like Mystery Science Theater back in the day, if anyone's ever watched that out there. But one of the ones we did was one night in November. And so you being on that, kind of final squad and being a part of that, kind of moment in time, I just wanted to get, your experiences with that tournament. Because I know you weren't there for the whole season, but I just wanted to pick your brain about that a little bit. Because I think that is kind of a crazy moment that, you're still playing now 2023 at the top division with Heat. And a lot of those guys are kind of remnants from that squad or from, kind of the aftermath of everything that happened there.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that I just watched that like maybe a week or two ago. I think between all the guys who were on that team at the time, that one will forever be our greatest win. I know it is for me personally, but yeah, I don't really know how to explain it because it's like you could write it for like a child, you know what I mean? Like that was a dream come true moment. You know what I mean? It's like that whole year I was watching all those guys play and I'm like, that's tight, dude. These guys are playing pro and I'm watching Dynasty dominate that year. And then it was like at the end of the year, Sarge called me and he was like, hey, do you want to come play? Because at the time Sarge was managing the 7-man team for Aftershock. And basically he had control over the roster, so he asked me to come play, and then we won that shit. So I was like, like what the fuck went on? Like, how did this happen? Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's. I think about it from time to time, and I'm just grateful that all the manifesting and dreaming and hard work led to that moment because those are things that I only dreamed of, and then it came true, and then Heat happened, and it was like a whirlwind of success, and I was like, holy shit, I don't know what the fuck to do. you know?
Yeah, for sure, man. I think one of the other awesome parts from that tournament is that finals match, because it was a great match, but it also not only spawned the story of Aftershock getting kind of that final moment in the spotlight, but also I mean, one of the like most historical wipes of all time, and just examples of clean cheating. Like, shout out to Cassidy as well for capturing that. But it's I mean, how did you feel when you finally saw that footage after playing in that game?
I mean, you can't even feel bad. Like, it's like, dog, that was gross. You know what I mean?
One where it's like the guy blinked and missed it.
That's what I'm saying, dude. But his ability to see that in his like peripheral, like lower, like. And wipe it without even really, like, if you watch it, he doesn't really look down. He kind of just knows it hit him and just went zoop. It's like, I can't be mad at that. Like,
it was just so smooth.
That's what I'm saying, dude. He practiced that one in the mirror. He was like, okay, dive. But I remember he was walking on the field and we kind of scouted it. If he had 4 pods on his back, he went snake on the break. If he had 5 pods, he didn't, right? So like we were walking over and like it was right before the break and like Drewby, I think, looked over. He goes, hey, 4 pods. So we spun another gun that way. And then we shot him, and then he goes on the field and shoots the fuck out of all of us. And it's like, what the hell?
Damn.
So, I mean,
made
karma.
The right chess call, but yeah, he got away with one.
Yeah, I mean, but that's karma for, we won. So,
facts.
No, there you go. Scoreboard, end of the day.
Yeah, it's cool. He gets a cool video and we get a trophy. I'll take it.
Hell
yeah, man.
Damn, that's a good point.
All right, Hatch, I know you had some questions lined up. I'll get you, let you get one in there.
Okay, so one thing that I wanted to ask, so with playing with Fedorov for probably the better, like the more side of like 10 years now, probably.
Yeah.
So how is that? I assume there's obviously not a language barrier or anything like that now, but how has the transition been from when you first started playing with him on Heat to like now?
It's a good question. When I first got on the team, he played on Philly Americans for a year. So he actually didn't have that bad of English, right?
Gotcha.
In order, it went Fedorov and then Mishka and then Sergey at the time. Those were the 3, like it was like Fedorov's best and then Sergey would be the worst English, right?
Gotcha.
But it wasn't bad, like to the point of we couldn't understand them on the field because we trained so hard together, right? Like
Gotcha.
everything, if it was a layout, like every little thing, it's like you hear the same thing over and over from them. So you kind of understand what they're trying to say. Like we'll have zones and stuff, and like Mishka still now says like back left, you know? So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I know when I'm playing on the field with Mishka, like there are a few adjustments we need to make mentally, you know? And like instead of saying like 100 or something, we say nobody left. Like that's, I mean, it's just,
okay.
it's kind of how he is, right? So like we just have to adjust to these small things, and I think all of us on the team already know that because we've been on the team for so long. But it's really not it's not that big of a deal in terms of what we're trying to communicate. But what I will say is this: off the field, when we're trying to talk about game plans and stuff like that, I think some things do get lost in translation, where we have to break it down to an even simpler way to express to them so they can understand it.
Gotcha.
Just because of the language, it is obviously still there. But you know, when you're in the flow and you're in the zone, it doesn't really affect too much. So yeah, I mean, and I room with the guy too, so it's like he'll come hang out, and my girlfriend Stella, she'll be like, I don't know what he just said, and I'm like, oh, I know everything he just said.
Nice.
So
Okay.
it's like, it's just because you're just with that person for so much, and there's so much time, you know.
Yeah, I assume everything's just like it's just like bells clicking in your head on the field, where you know, just basically it's just your teammate now at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So it's interesting to hear him talk about things in his perspective, because he does the broken English sometimes, and he'll be like, it's work, I'm telling you. And I'm like, oh, okay, it'll work. Okay, well, let's try it.
I believe you, man.
So, yeah, let's do it. So it's cool.
Going off that, and actually something I wanted to bring up at some point tonight. So I have to actually thank you, Ronnie, because you've given me my most viral video on TikTok.
Which one? Is it the one of me reloading and missing?
It's you essentially telling Fetty to get out wide, but everyone on TikTok just sees you spilling paint
just like
everywhere.
dump it out.
Yeah.
This TikTok has 58 million views.
Holy.
So thank you.
That's crazy.
I got about
Jesus.
40 cents for it. So, you know, getting paid
Sick,
out.
dude.
Really,
Let's
TikTok's
go,
helping out,
dude.
paying the bills.
That's dope, dude. We'll go to when we're in Vegas, we'll do some penny slots.
Dude, I'm down.
Let's
On me.
40
Dude,
of
going
them,
back to
dude.
Vegas this
40
year,
of them.
Hell yeah.
That's funny. It's actually funny because my mom learned how to use social media within this last year, and she saw that on your page.
Oh, okay.
She was like telling all of her sisters in the Philippines and all this stuff, like, look at these millions of views, like, you know, like, and I'm like, it's not like, yeah. And she just like, she'd be like texting me like screenshots, like, oh, it went up another million. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, it's pretty dope. So that's
Just
cool.
don't read
That's
any
really
of the
cool.
comments. Just don't look at that.
No.
Skip those. Turn those off.
What
actually.
do you guys think about that? Like, because okay, here's the thing, and obviously me and Verbal figured this out. I think in 2021, it's like if you miss a reload and you get it on video, 100% you're going to get 1 million views. Like for the most part, when it was like popping, right?
Yeah.
So here's where I kind of wonder in terms, and I haven't expressed this to anybody.
The exclusive.
Anybody at all ever. And I thought about this like this past week. Okay, so if we have so much footage, right, and millions of views of people missing reloads, so then the general population just see a bunch of people missing reloads, do you think that could have a negative effect on people's perspective of what tournament paintball is, because of the fact that the viral videos are of us stupidly missing reloads?
Yeah, no, you're
You know
not
what I
wrong.
mean?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It kind of creates a negative first impression, because that's what a lot of people's first impression probably is. Some reel that went viral, and damn, yeah, no, that's a good point. I haven't thought about it.
So
that.
it's like on one side,
waste all his bullets.
Yeah,
I know
dude,
it's all
exactly. So it's like on one side you got the videographers that are crushing the views, right? But then the other side, the general population just keeps seeing views of us just being complete and total idiots, and they're just torching us the whole time. So now like paintball to like the outside is like, well, those guys just don't have skill and they just reload and miss. So that's what it takes to be pro. So I always wondered that. I don't care, like, if like, dude, get your views. Like, I'm fucking about it. You know what I mean?
Well, and I'm more so like I'm just past that stuff really. Like a lot of my content recently has been more montage type stuff. Like,
cool.
The cool, just the raw clips. Yeah, they'll get the views, but it's just, I don't know. It's not the type of content I want to make, and I'm not shooting down anyone who does that. I mean, Verbal's freaking 4 daily awesome moments is,
crushing.
It's sick. But
I love seeing it, honestly.
It's definitely, it's definitely like, all right, I tried that for a while. I don't necessarily want to contribute to just dumping reels, dumping paint and stuff like that.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like it gets views and it works and it gets you exposure.
I will say we definitely there are other examples of like some great clips. Like, Tyler's one-on-one is one that comes to mind, like just absolutely iconic, dominant clip. And there's been some other like kind of cool lane shots and stuff I've seen that have gone pretty viral. But you definitely have a point there that we've kind of maybe shot ourselves in the foot a little bit searching the viral fame.
Just a little, right? Like I don't think it's like detrimental or anything like in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, but at least
also,
first impression.
Like first impression, millions and millions of views. Like it's like, damn, dude, everyone looks at us like we're
we just can't do it.
Clowns.
The simplest thing.
Yeah, like we're like clowns.
I agree.
But also, whatever, they're looking. So good. Any publicity is good publicity, right? So
exactly.
Very true.
Yeah.
Makes me never want to miss my reloads, especially when I know Ryan's filming.
Yeah, there's more pressure then.
Yeah,
I'll feel you. I'll do a reloading clinic this weekend. That's all I'll do.
Dude.
That's a good one.
I remember, I think it was Verbal that posted it. I saw a clip of you playing, Ronnie, where no joke, it had to have been on purpose, bro. You were way off in like the whole pod.
Okay, so that one 100% was on purpose. Right? Yeah, okay, I remember sweet. I walked up to Verbal and I go, hey, 1 million views right here. Let's rip it.
Yep.
And I remember I went to the and no, I remember I looked at
you told the story.
Yeah, Ryan Smith was next to me and I go, hey, I'm gonna pour one up for the homies. If the guy goes, it's my fault. And he goes, what do you mean? And I'm like, I'll tell you after. So then I go to the can and I'm holding a guy and then I dump the one and then the guy goes and he goes, hey, he filled. And I'm like, I know. And it was my fault. Dude. But it was like, I told Ryan Smith that and then it got the views and he was like, holy shit. I didn't know you were serious about that.
That was like the ultimate test to where if the reloading thing was like true or not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was.
I think I had a lot of pro players fooled too. They were like, "That was ridiculous."
Jeez.
Like,
I feel like you had everybody fooled because when I first watched it, I was like, what?
It was good,
but definitely
nice.
Good. So.
We'll do another one. I'll do it in Vegas.
Okay,
Ryan, get ready.
All right, just lined it up. Yeah,
let's go, dude.
One of the best moments that I've had filming you, Ronnie, I would say when I mic'd you up in Chicago. Do you remember the flying V? The reason I knew that was gonna happen is because all 5 of you guys were on the box and you just looked down and give me the flying V and like we're coming and I was like, oh shit, all right.
Nice.
And so I get ready for it. But yeah, there were some other good moments from that game. Unfortunately, the one game I mic'd you up, like I think you only had like 2 or 3 spins, so there wasn't enough footage for a YouTube video. But I mean, hey, Vegas, maybe something like that. Maybe if you've got a good spot going or something like that, where we can get some awesome content. That'd be great.
I'll just carry one extra pod just to do it.
Let's go.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. Just be like, I need 12 this point. Give me 12. I'm gonna jump some. We'll see what happens.
You're going to the snake, dude.
We'll pack in the pocket pod. The pocket pod.
It's like Todd's like, Ron, you're going to the snake on the break. All right, 9. What?
You're wearing a 3+2, man. Okay. All right. Good luck.
You don't even have a big enough pack, dude.
Perfect.
Shit.
But yeah, man. So jumping outside of paintball just a little bit, because this is something that's been actually hot on my mind to ask you about is your airsoft adventure. So you guys going over and kind of trying your trade at the other close combat type sport that's going on right now. Walk us through that a little bit, man. I think it was a really interesting event that HK helped put on.
Yeah, so it was really it's really funny you bring that up, and I kind of talked about this in the pre podcast lobby.
They're less toxic.
I just finished. What's that?
The pre-podcast lobby is way less toxic than COD lobbies. It's a lot.
For sure.
Just a little.
Definitely. Just a tiny bit. Yeah, I actually just got done. I finally got to those edits. And I just got done doing like my travel vlog / like first day there. So that's dropping tomorrow. I don't know when this podcast is going out, but that's dropping tomorrow, which would be December 13th.
Yeah, so Patreon viewers, go check that out. But everyone else, it's out right now. So yeah, go check it out on Ronnie's channel, Dizon Docs.
Yeah, so then I'm cracking into like the finale of that video. But dude, it was so how do I explain? I mean, well, to be able to go over there and not for paintball was really cool, you know, just something different, right? Because it's like you feel like you're going there for paintball, and then you pull up and you're like, I don't know anything about anything here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everything is different.
That's what I'm saying. But they still look at pro players like in the same light as they do, and the same respect as they do, and you know, as paintball. So that was really cool to get a lot of respect there. I thought it would. I don't know how it was going to go, right? Like I thought maybe they would hate us, or you know, but
that's what
honestly,
I was about as well.
Yeah, I went over there and there was welcome open arms and everyone was super cool. And I mean, to be able to play that style of airsoft was, how do I explain? It was kind of an eye opener for me to realize that like it's just like paintball, but like cleaner, and you could just cheat whenever you want if you really want.
So it's cleaner but dirtier at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. It's clean and dirty. Yeah. So like, I think there's a few ways that they could adjust some things in terms of like refereeing and stuff. It's a game of honor, but when money's on the line, you know, that shit goes out the window.
For
you
sure.
know, like moral integrities go out the window when money's on the line.
That's hilarious you bring that up. I was researching my next video essay today, and I found video footage of the first ever filmed wipe, and it was in 1993. So like, it's been 30 years of people wiping in paintball. So imagine in airsoft, something that doesn't leave any mark. Like you're definitely gonna have someone who brushes one off.
Yeah, and it's just gonna happen. It's just part of that game. So that's where I think that's what holds back. I think that sport, like. If there was a way to track every single BB and everyone would have like these giant body suits, right, with like sensors on them, you know, but then you'd have to be able to differentiate between it bouncing off the wall and then actually coming out of a gun. Like there's way too many factors, right? If that was possible, I think it would put paintball into the ground because it'd be so advanced. The ability to use head cams for every player is ridiculous. And it just makes our sport, it's like our sport on steroids because you're able to, you know, have like the tracer rounds and like reuse the BBs, and it's like way more cost effective for the consumer. You know what I mean? So yeah, like it's really cool. It's really awesome. It's really fun. But there's a lot that holds it back from being like super competitive. And that's where I think paintball beats it because, like you said, you could still wipe in paintball, but like it's just harder at the top level to get away with stuff, especially because of how good the refereeing is getting or has gotten, and the fact that there's a marker on you. You know what I mean? Like there's visible proof that you're eliminated. So
I mean, maybe you could probably talk about this a little better. Pro side reffing, it's gotten pretty good. Like I mean, especially as someone who's probably played through a lot of eras of paintball, like. Yeah, NECTR pro refs are pretty spot on. I mean, yes, they definitely miss things, but you're always going to in paintball. It's so hard to see everything live.
Right. I mean, it's just difficult. So that's why, I mean, I don't know if I want to bridge to this yet, but that's where I think these paintball video games that are coming out could be the future of what paintball is represented as, because it's like, man, like you do miss things, right? And refs do miss things, and like just like in airsoft and paintball, you do miss things, and it just, what's sad is like after like a tournament, like say that there was like a clip of Marcelo and say he wiped in like the World Cup finals and no one saw it, and like somebody got it on film or something, you know what I mean?
Had like the one clip, angle. Yeah. Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like from one specific angle, like not saying he did, right? But like that could like be the difference between somebody like winning a championship and it just gets like stripped of them. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely probably one of the hardest sports to ref ever, you know?
For sure. I mean, they even did like the one-on-one tournament with Hormesis, and like I've seen Verbal's clips where, dude,
we're talking two guys.
They're staring at them. They probably got at least what, two refs like per side, maybe?
Yeah.
Two guys and people are wiping in one-on-ones. Like, it's a difficult sport. Like,
without a doubt.
That explains.
You gotta have some luck in this sport sometimes. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree. Luck is better be lucky than good. Matty Marshall said that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly what he says. So it's like, man, if in that 1-on-1 you can get away with that, like it's like, damn, dude. Like,
Yeah.
like think about the grand scheme of like all the tournaments. Like, how many did people get away with? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the ref doesn't really. I don't think the ref wants to make that call where it's like, oh, whoa, was that like a hit? I didn't see.
But he has to, right?
Exactly. In that split second, as a referee, he has to.
That's what I'm
like
saying.
Whether or not he wants to pull him, because he's probably like, okay, that's definitely looked like it sprayed off, but there's no paint, no nothing, like not a single thing. Right.
Yeah, and what's sad is it's just like you gotta. I mean, like then the whole argument of like, well, you never should have been in that situation to be like in a close game. Well, it's like, well, I mean, it was though, and
yeah, no, I mean that's like, paintball though. Like stomping doesn't occur all that often. Like, yeah, it definitely can, but I mean, especially in today's leagues, it's competitive. Like, you know, stuff can be won or lost by that knife's edge type, you know, stuff. Yeah,
and I mean that's the beauty of our game, though. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. But
yeah,
I'm just here for it. You know,
I assume there's probably missed calls in like the NFL and all that.
I woke Brandon up. He's tired from all his surgeries today.
Come on, Brandon.
Oh shit, dude.
Busy saving lives out there.
Yeah,
we thank you,
making them better.
Mm-hmm.
Salute his service. Thank you. Thank you for his service. Well, yeah, no, you did start to go into gaming there, and I would love to jump into that. But I mean, before we get into the paintball side of stuff, I just wanted to pick your brain about that in general, because obviously you're, you know, someone who's been gaming kind of, I want to say your whole life, or at least from what I've been able to pick up. So like, what has that journey been? And you know, what does it mean to you?
As far as gaming?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I stopped playing video games when I was like way younger because I realized I wasted so much time in my life. So then like I remember I stopped and I was like, I need to apply myself, and that's when I started really taking paintball seriously. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then I think it wasn't until, man, I don't even know, like right before COVID. Yeah, was like super hooked on PUBG. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what anything like battle royales, like I didn't know any of this shit, you know? And I purposely was like, I'm not playing video games. I'm not buying an Xbox. I'm not doing any of this. Like, I know where it's going to go. And lo and behold, we're on like a drive from Houston to San Antonio. And he's like, hey, dude, download PUBG mobile. I go, they have it on mobile now too? I'm like, I look at the time.
I have a phone.
Yeah, we got 3 hours. He's like, dude, we could drop and like play. I'm like, so you mean to tell me we could like drop together and like play together? And he's like, yeah, and there's like a ton of people on the map we have to survive. I go, that kind of sounds fun. So I was like, okay. So I download it, right? Next thing you know, I'm fucking addicted. And then I find out that Call of Duty comes out with a mobile game. So then I play Call of Duty Mobile. And then next thing you know, I'm playing the World Championships of Call of Duty Mobile with the _1 ranked player in the fucking world. And then next thing you know, I started playing. I literally left that. And I had a friend who was like, he lives in Sacramento, actually. Shout out to my boy Metal. He is a huge PUBG mobile streamer, and he was like, you realize if you would have stuck with that, you could have just like probably been huge in the mobile scene. I'm like, yeah, but my heart was in it. He goes, but you were literally like there, like you were already there. You could have been just doing that full time and making a ton of money in brand deals. I'm like, yeah, it just wasn't what I wanted to do. And then COVID hit, so then I was like, okay, and then Warzone happened, and then I got addicted to that, and then I was playing the fucking like pro Warzone tournaments with like Dr. Disrespect and all these guys because my boy Hitch from Optic, and then it was just like, man, all this is fun, right? But then paintball came back. I go, but none of this is paintball, you know? Like I did both of those. I did Call of Duty Mobile to the max. I did fucking Warzone to the max, and I'm like, none of this replaced paintball, but I think that's what I was trying to find.
It's kind of that like substitution for that competitiveness. You know, you wanted to have that feeling of competition that I feel like paintball probably, you know, drives for you.
Exactly, especially like a shooter, right? It was just like, oh, I'm getting my fix, my dopamine every fucking night, you know? So I think that's why it's really cool that paintball video games are coming out, because it's going to be able to bridge people back into real paintball who actually try this, you know? I mean, I've seen a lot of comments from the content I've done around it has been guys who said like, oh shit, I used to play Greg Hastings tournament paintball back in the day. I played myself. Maybe I'll check this out, you know? And maybe that kind of, you know, I'm not going to say it's like going to revolutionize, you know, like the future of our sport, but it definitely can be that supplemental thing that helps push the sport along further, you know, targeting kind of all medias. Yeah, dude, I think it's so awesome you're doing those informational videos about the video games. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's so cool because those are going to be the ones that bridge the gap of people actually realizing there's a cool paintball game out there. So shout out to you for doing those, because those, thanks, like, bro. You don't have to. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do those, but you choose to.
Well, and it's also, it started out, I started talking to Ethan, the developer of Infinite Paintball.
Yep.
And I just kind of was like, dude, you just are making this because you love something and want to see it out in the world, and I want to help out with that. And same thing for Virtua. They're making a dope product, so cool. I'll shout it out and try to make some cool coverage on it and get it out in the light. Honestly, just because I want to play the games more and I need people to play them with. So come, download them and try them out.
We also went so long without them. We went so long without a good paintball video game that
like people tried to revive DPB and it just wasn't the same as what it used to be because of how video games advanced. But that's a good point. Like, so long, man. There was nothing.
Yeah.
What was it, Ryan? Was it 2009?
2010 was the last console release and like widespread AAA published game. That, or at least that's vaguely what I remember when I did that video back in like July. But it's been a while, and I mean, now in the span of like a year and a half, we went from having one in closed alpha to now having two that are like in beta with something to show. So it's been fun.
Anybody can get Infinite if you have a PC now, so it's
exactly
insane.
Yeah. And it doesn't even take that much to run it,
No.
Yeah. Infinite.
I could run it.
Infinite feels so good, man. The movement in Infinite definitely has my heart right now. It's
so that's the thing. Like, with the beta being where Virtua is right now, they're making some adjustments, but like the smoothness of Infinite is like so fun and cool. And then you have the dope like customization and detail that Virtua has. So like they're both like the best of both worlds. It's just like they need to start going, like, I don't know, like it's almost like if they combined, it'd be the best game ever. You know what I mean?
You're definitely right about that.
Just merge it all. But I mean, no, you definitely have a strong point, because like the quality of life type of stuff in Virtua looks awesome. The whole ranking system, world ladder stuff, customizing jerseys, having custom nameplates on everything.
So sick.
That's all dope features.
Yep.
But getting stuck on the box sucks. And so, like hammering out those gameplay mechanics definitely would be, in their interest. Whereas Infinite has that solid base and needs to add some more of the, matchmaking type stuff, the fancy stuff that make people want to stay around and spend more time in your game.
Right, exactly. Like, I mean, you gotta think about how Call of Duty and all these other games do their models, where it's like, they have these microtransactions within the game to help the game sustain. You know what I mean? Like, if there was what's that?
Oh, it pays for the dev time.
Yeah,
someone's
exactly.
Gotta be working on it. Yeah.
If he had like even like gun skin packages where it was like, oh, like this Cherry Blossom Lux is in the game for a limited time, and you could like buy the skin. You know what I mean? Like small things like that, where like it'll just drive people to be like, dude, there's so many cool things and content coming out in the game, and like maybe even if it implemented different formats or like game, like how Virtua is doing, I think that would help it. But also it is just one guy or two guys, however many they have in Infinite, so it's definitely difficult, especially if he has that's not his full-time thing.
Yeah, no, it's so Ethan is behind all the coding and everything, and then he now after the release has a visual artist, so he's the guy who's been doing a lot of the like updated skins and textures, which look great, by the way. I think they've made some great updates with that. But we're just kind of getting a rank system or something like that would definitely help add to like, hey, I want to play this game longer because I want that shiny trophy next to my name, or I want to beat these guys. They've been coming around the block a lot. I gotta protect my home turf. And
even like
in game.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You gotta protect your block.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
A valid point.
Yeah, exactly. The skins is cool, but I also think how Virtua is doing it with the kill KD, I think that's cool.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because I would love to see I'd love to see my Virtua KD right now. Like, it'd be cool to see versus the entire ranking of the world. Like, I think that's what's going to separate and drive competitive nature towards Virtua more. And Virtua is a really awesome game. I talk to Brett all the time, and I talk to Ethan too. And both guys are like, they're both doing something cool for paintball, and that's really what matters. So
yeah. No, and I'm in a similar boat too. I think the cool thing also is there's now kind of competition between them, and that also kind of adds even more not not motivation, but kind of just like a
Pressure.
all right, I want to go make a better game now, or like it adds that next level layer. So that's
someone
only good
once
for
told
players.
me a rising tide raises all ships. So that's what someone told me once. That was you, Ryan, that told me
Rising
that.
tide lifts all boats, but
Whatever it was.
You're close. The quote was close.
You
Nice.
told me that one, Ryan.
No, because it's
That's
a good one.
tight.
Because it's true. Because I mean, and the more people who are just interested in paintball gaming, the more support there is for that, the more time that can be put into making two better pieces of games or art. So yeah. No, it's awesome. It's cool to see the stuff that's going on with that right now. And one, a point you were making, like, I think not a lot of people probably remember this, but COD 2 going into like Call of Duty 4, the big difference in those two games was the stat mechanics, because that was really the first time, like you said, you could track KD wins, you could see how much better you were doing from someone, and also all the kind of level up stuff. The like, hey, you want to use frag times 3, you got to get to like 45 or something, and then hey, you want to do it again, you can kind of spend unlimited amounts of time in this game achieving and getting new things. So that's those are the type of things that add from, all right, COD 2 had good gameplay, people loved playing it, but there wasn't any reason to stick on for 20 days or somewhat. There's some crazy hours that were recorded in Call of Duty 4.
Yeah, I mean, like, to Virtua's point, the fact that you start at D5 and you have to grind to be pro, like, if they did it like Call of Duty where there was a battle pass and then you paid and then your rank gets reset and then you have to grind your way back up and you get all these cool things along the way, like, that is going to be cool. And then I was talking to Drew Templeton and we were just kind of like spitballing ideas, but like, if you think about like if it was like, NBA 2K or 5K, or what is it, 2K?
Yeah,
Is that
2K,
the NBA? Yeah, I don't play those games, but like, it's cool, like, if you were to get, like, a 93 Jordan, or if you got, like, a 2005 Oliver Lang, you know what I mean? And you got everything he had, right? Like, if he had, like, his like, all these little things where you get, like this person's era, or this person, like, that would be cool in the grand scheme of the game. You know what I mean? Like,
can I get, like, so much Ultimate Team for Virtua? Can we do, like, franchise shit? Like,
yeah, dude, there's so many different... So many different like avenues you could go down, you know what I mean?
No, for sure, man.
Yeah, so I think it's dope.
Another thing I wanted to ask about, and I was going to ask you about your experience around the bar, but you brought up Hitch there. How did that relationship start? Because that's I mean, like I just mentioned, that's awesome to me. I mean, but watching back on like old school Machinima days, COD 4, watching Hex with like an R700. It was kind of cool to see paintball being represented on a similar platform from them. So yeah, I want to pick you about that.
So this was crazy. So when I was on Aftershock, Planet Eclipse did a thing called My Greatest Paintball Moment.
Okay.
And I had one on there, and then I'm pretty sure Hitch tweeted it like back then, like 2016 or 15, and I didn't know who Hitch was. I didn't play video games at the time.
Okay.
And then fast forward, I was streaming. And it was one of the first times me and Yaya like kind of streamed together. And it was on Verdansk for Warzone. For the people listening, that was like the original Warzone map.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually dropped my first 20 bomb that day. And then I look at my chat and it's like frozen. And then I look at how many people are watching and it was like 300 or 400. I'm like, what the fuck? And then like all I see is Team Summertime, Hitch, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh shit, dude, he like rated me and I didn't know, right? Like I was just so locked in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dropping a 20 bomb.
And I thought it was sick because it was like these guys would probably think I'm fucking like nuts at this game. You know what I mean?
First impression. Exactly.
It was a good first impression, right? So it set the bar for content, and that allowed people to stick around when I stream. But yeah, so then I did that, and then I would go to their stream, and then I'd talk to them, and then Hitch and I started talking through that, and that's kind of what bridged the gap. But Hitch is just super involved and interested in paintball. Like, he loves it. He just loves that, like, the competitive outlet that it is. Like, obviously, if you saw Around the Bar on YouTube, he's doing a cool thing with that over at the Optic headquarters.
He's had some awesome guests on that. So that was really cool to see paintball represented as a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, when I got asked to go on, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, okay, yeah,
just
sure.
I'm Mango. You just have like all these other just awesome A-list guys, and then
Dude.
Yeah, let's go. Let's
sure. Yeah. So big shout out to Hitch for giving me the opportunity to be like the voice of paintball, to gaming in that outlet. I thought that was really cool. And we just have a good relationship, and I'm going to try to get him to a something. I need to get him somewhere to go play some paintball. a bunch of the optic guys. That'd be really cool.
That would be sick.
Big opportunity there for content. So
yeah,
I remember HK did like a phase collab in like LA one time or something like that. So
I would love to get them out here because Paintball Explosion here has a full replica of Nuketown.
Yeah.
And that would just be cool for the COD players. You know what I mean? For them to play.
It's like another bridge, that can connect people, through not only like paintball, but now Call of Duty.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's what I know that from is Call of Duty.
Exactly. And that's why, that gets a lot of publicity is because of that nostalgia from that, that map.
Yeah, I think like Mr. H has a couple of videos he's done there that have, gone over 1 million views or such, just because people are like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, oh, I know Nuketown. I know Nuketown 2025 and every 7 versions.
The colors are the same, dude. They get you.
They had the exact same school bus.
Yeah.
Like
I love
everything
those
was
clips
the
where
same.
they run through and they just blast the guy on like 30 people on the other side of the bus.
Yeah. So I think, for all paintball fields out there listening, if you just do any nostalgic Call of Duty map at your paintball park, there's a very high chance to get a lot of customers. It's a no-brainer.
Just set up shipment,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There is a park. There's a park somewhere. I don't know where it is, but they do have a shipment. I don't know how it plays either. I'm assuming it plays just as fucking ridiculous.
That sounds sick.
Yeah, but there is a shipment map. You know what I mean? So... yeah, I think that'd be huge for all parks. Like, fuck, dude, what are we doing here?
Well, for sure, man. Hatch, what's up, man? I know you had a couple more questions.
All right, so Ronnie, you've been in the game a long time. What would you say has in the pro league has been the biggest thing to evolve over time?
Experience. Your experience at the highest level in higher pressure situations. That's king, dude. I don't even care how fast you could snap shoot or how good you could run and shoot. You, as a pro player, if you're a new pro player, you have to realize that the exact same pro players that were pro 10, 20 years ago are still pro, and that's for a reason. It's because they understand the game. So if you could focus on understanding the game, you're already ahead of the curve, and then just playing as much as you can. And then the drills, I say you do the drills like a basketball player would go shoot free throws or work on his dribbling, You have to supplement those into your game, so that way you don't have to think about it. I don't have to think about switching hands or running and shooting. And that's what I've been doing actually this whole month, every Saturday at Paintball Explosion. I've been doing just classes on fundamentals. So that way when these guys go out next year and they go play points, they don't have to think about, okay, am I snapping correctly? Or am I rusty on my, my laning? Nature. Exactly. That's already locked in, and that's what pro players already have ingrained. Now it's understanding the game and the situation faster,
Gotcha.
And I think that is more valuable than any fundamental currently.
And I think so we've heard a very similar answer from a couple of the other pros we've asked, but one of the big ones that stands out to me was Jordan Boyum, because that was one of the things that first he was imparting was we can all snap, we can all run and gun, we can all do all that stuff. It's really just it's figuring out the mental side. It's okay, he's doing that. It's that guy. He's gonna do this. Can I get the kill there? It's more the micro situations and how that plays out on the whole entire game, rather than I'm gunfighting with a guy, I'm gonna snap him out because I'm better. Very little of the time in pro paintball it comes down to stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's almost your ego kind of getting in the way when you're trying to do those things. It's sometimes you're I'm gonna take it because I think I'm better than this guy, and then you win the fight and you're okay, I was better, you know what I mean? Or it goes the other way.
Yeah.
But for the most part, majority of the points are won because you guys have a good plan on the break and you capitalize on it, and then the team, you just strangle the life out of the other team,
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to put it. That Dave Baines told me a very similar analogy like that, with what Impact does is, they'll get to the spots and just choke you out.
That's it, and they'll just win one gun fight here,
good at that.
Or they get a kill on the break, and then they just lock it up. So it's you're literally well, fuck, I eventually have to try to force a move that I didn't want to,
just kind of
just to try to even it up.
Right, exactly, and your probabilities and your are lower now, So yeah, I think that's how the current game is played, and it's going to only evolve that way because we're getting so much better,
Mm-hmm.
Being able to find a bounce shot with a when we were younger, it was harder to find a bounce shot with 2 weekends on the layout. Now we have 1 weekend on the layout, and we're founding it on the first day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you see those exact angles, exact representations of how the bunkers were in a different layout. And it's like, well, should work in theory, and then it works, and you're like, oh great, now there's a bounce shot that everyone has to worry about because I just taught the other team that.
Yeah.
And then it changes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
For sure.
So. Yeah, I mean, I think it was Archie who said it on the PTG show, and he was saying that what's kind of scary is like if our current game isn't what's going to make paintball mainstream, like the next iteration of the game might not be as enjoyable. Although it may be mainstream, it might not be as enjoyable as what we're playing now. Because currently, what we're playing now is really fun, but it's very hard to televise or express to the world.
It was something, I forget when we brought it up, but recently we were talking kind of like, the 7-man format. And I think with the reason why a lot of people loved that format is because it gave them like this, high pressure situation game, but they also had more field space to work with. They had more bigger bunkers to play with. And I don't want to say it was an easier game, but it was a little bit, because, you look at fucking pro level X-Ball now, from the second the buzzer goes off, you have to be playing 100% to try and make that point happen for you. And, if something goes wrong, then it's kind of that instant like, all right, well, we got to figure this out, or someone's got to make an amazing play and try to dig us out of this hole.
Yeah, and also only because it was just like best of 3 games with that too, So like each game mattered even more, and each body mattered more, Yeah. Kind of how what was the name of the format at World Cup? Something
7-3.
7-3, yeah. The 7-3 format, it was like just like 7-man, where you had, your game, that 1 point mattered like more than the almost anything. Like that sets the momentum, that first point. But in an X-Ball match, we're so conditioned to like, okay, get into the flow of the match. Like, okay, like, oh, we lost that one, we lost another one. We can bring the momentum back. So I think just not being in that mindset. I mean, and it showed too, the teams that won that, right, were not the teams that even, came close to even making it on Sunday,
NYX and Bears, I think, in the finals.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. And they played it well, right? But also, maybe for that format, they were, a little bit more locked in.
For that format.
Exactly. But now when you go to the actual tournament, those teams, I mean, NYX missed the cut from because of Revo, and then Bears didn't do well. So it just goes to show what we're conditioned in our mind in terms of like what the format currently is. And Tyler Harmon says that, so yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious to see what's to come in the next like 5 years of paintball, to see like if there's anything that's gonna push it to mainstream. Like I thought the joust was cool from a spectator standpoint, and I'm sure the videographers loved it because it was much easier to catch the action. And I kind of pitched this one like, I don't know, maybe it was like 4 years ago, and I'm like, maybe one-on-ones is the play, because it's like you just take it like boxing, like it's not as hard to film it, and it's the focus is there, so I don't know.
It definitely is an exciting it's probably the most exciting like format change I've seen in a while. Like, we haven't really tried much. We have, the 7-3, but that's still, everyone's kind of like, this is kind of dull, like maybe we'll do something else. But the joust and the duel definitely was the first like, oh, okay, this is fun. This is competitive. This is fun. And especially the duel is freaking intense.
I mean, between that, Ultimate Shootout, and Pro Tour, those ones were like, those 3 one-on-one formats, the only thing that was consistent it was a one-on-one, and that made it exciting.
No, you're right, because the other was it like the Ultimate Shootout that had like the bunker type objectives, or like a point-based system as well. HK's was more just straight up 1v1, I feel like, or I'm not fully remembering it.
Yeah, HK was like, they were kind of, so like HK was like boxing, you know what I mean? You're in the ring and you have the same layout every time, and you have 2 starting boxes, and if you keep winning, you keep just going back and forth between your start box. So that was like your traditional boxing. And then there was the Ultimate Shootout, which is more like your MMA, because there was buzzers implemented, so there's different techniques and different ways to score. And then I think the joust was kind of a combo of both. I thought it was cool that at least something was being tried, but also from, again, videographer standpoint and media standpoint, it was just much easier to capture gunfights like that, like an action like that. So
it's a lot easier to understand.
Yeah, exactly. Comprehend it for like a normal person.
Which
But-
also, speaking of like easier to see stuff, shout out to you, I guess, for predicting the future in the Around the Bar interview with talking about the like telestration type stuff for Go Sports. I think that was a huge step up that they did.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched
Huge.
much of their like, much of the footage from Go Sports from the, the events, but
Yep.
just having those, little kind of objective markers almost, but just kind of like giving you that brief, like quick visual insight, I thought was huge.
Yes.
It makes it so it's not only on Maddie and Rich
Like
to
with the
explain the whole
lines
field.
and
Yeah, and
such,
kind
or
of
where
like a
people are
general,
shooting
zones.
this is what they're looking at. They're in this
Yeah.
bunker holding this side. That's kind of what they're trying to do.
Right. No, yeah, I think that's huge. I think it'd be cool if they like, when they like show a person on the Dorito side, even if they just had like that person's name up with like their
Like
like
right
small
over their
picture.
head, like a gamer tag or something.
That would be good, right? That actually wouldn't be bad. But
Yeah.
also like just in the corner, like if they had like, our stock ID photos, just pop up and that's who you're watching. You know what I mean? Because
I
since
know
we
they
have
used to
masks
do that.
on, you can't.
The names on the side.
No, but I mean
PA.
like, okay, like you zoom in on fucking Ryan's in the snake and he's crawling, and then like just a little picture of Ryan pops up and it's like, all right, on your screen right now is Ryan and he's crawling down the snake, you know what I mean? And then it switches over to a different player and then their things already on the screen, so
Well,
who
it's kind of
you're
like
watching.
it's kind of like esports broadcast. You see that often
Yes.
with that. They'll show not only the player's view in game, what their character is doing, but then they'll show just a little, side window, like you're saying, of their face cam, of like what are their emotions, what are their reactions. And since
Right.
I guess we can't do that, I do like that idea of like, all right, this is Ronnie. He's in that Dorito one. Now you at least know what he looks like. So if you see him around an event, or you kind of develop more of a relationship with players other than just this maskless, faceless dude that you see on the field.
Oh, I'll say this. One time I wore the same headgear as Fedorov, and me and him were stunning one event. I think it was World Cup 2018, and they thought it was Fed, and it was me. And I was like, well, fuck, dude. Stealing my thunder, dog.
Was that when
So-
stats were still around? You were giving stats
I don't
over to
know.
someone else.
I think so. I mean, they're giving awards away, and it's like if they're deciding and they think it's someone else. I don't know.
Oh well,
Yeah.
it's kind of a crapshoot
Yeah.
either way.
Yeah, exactly. So
I
yeah,
wish
man.
they stuck with the Pro Tour, because I feel like it would have been sick to see more focused one-on-ones with high caliber players. Like, say if there was like Mouse versus Mikey Rena,
Yeah.
that's like a matchup that people would love to see,
right.
or Fedorov versus Oliver Langley, something like that,
Yeah, I think it'd be cool, but they also needed. I mean, the real problem is there just needs to be more money,
Very true.
right? Like,
That's
if
the
these
answer to a
motherfuckers
lot
are
of
playing
paintball's
for-
problems.
what'd you say?
Well, that's the answer to a lot of paintball's problems. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's just not enough money.
I mean, if Jake Paul can fucking fight whoever the fuck he wants, and Logan Paul could fight Floyd Mayweather, and there's millions of dollars on the line, like what's forcing somebody to watch this one-on-one? You know what I mean? So it's like if Fedorov is like, it's just hypothetically, he's like, I got 100 racks on the table that says I beat Oliver, and then Oliver matches, that's like,
Gotta cut
oh
a
shit.
promo. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
WWE type, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And now you got Fedorov trading his balls off. You got Oliver like trading his balls off. Now they're gonna actually give it their all, And that's exciting, right? Because money's involved.
Yeah.
It's the truth, though.
Well, that plus also it adds that next level to that event. The reason why anyone tunes into a Paul brothers fight is not for the fight. It's because the story and the drama that they usually market and bring to all of their fighting events.
Yeah, dude. Press conferences and
And they're
talking
good at
shit.
that. You have to.
Yeah.
Their talent is making you give a fuck about something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and Pat Kraft were going at it, and they weren't even the main event. And they were going at it on like social media, like stories, like talking shit about each other every morning when they woke up, and they hyped it so well, right? To the point where people were so hyped to watch that almost they forgot that Tyler was playing Keith. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there
no, I
was
see what
so
you're
much
saying.
energy towards that because of the way they hyped it. So I think that alone shows that, I mean, dude, you put the right people and the right characters in the right places, and then you just put some money on the line, people are gonna get pretty wild. You know what I mean?
No, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Hatch, the last couple questions. I mean, I don't know how many more you had.
So Ronnie, what is your biggest paintball hot take?
Oh, what do you mean by hot take?
Man, never really had somebody ask me about to explain it.
Caught him off guard.
I just want to clarify.
Now I'm trying to think of what my paintball hot take is, dude.
Yeah, what's yours, buddy?
I would probably say
That's a great question, Hatch.
my biggest paintball hot take is why do I get so many fucking penalties for nothing? That's my biggest paintball hot take.
Oh,
but,
shit.
That one's different story. But
So it's funny because at the beginning of the season, I didn't believe him, but then I filmed a lot of their semi-pro matches this year, and I'm like, I have footage showing that it wasn't him. Like, I actually kind of grew to learn that, like, no, he does get kind of fucked at times.
Maybe it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Maybe it's because you believe it.
They give me the finger, dude. They see me coming over and they're like, get over here, and I'm like, bruh.
Fuck, this guy's on the field, dude. Get your flags ready.
I guess my biggest paintball hot take is I don't think overshooting should really matter. Like, who cares? Like, if you're signing the fucking waiver to be in, who cares?
Yeah. Huh. And now I'd have to really think about this one because now it's like you could angle the question. We'll be back after this commercial. Let me think. I'd have to think about this one.
Speaking of overshooting, I just, a little brief tangent. I mean, obviously you're, I was trying to connect that somehow to the Stephen O'Mara clip, but I feel like everyone's seen it. People have probably seen your reaction to it, but it's...
And it wasn't even that bad.
It wasn't even that bad.
Just slow motion makes everything
just
look
like
worse.
Bad, yeah. I mean that's one. Obviously, overshooting could be one. Yeah, I don't know. I do think that there was something about the league mandating brighter shell paint, and that never happened. So. If that's
a huge
one
thing that we need to have. That's a good one. That's a great one, Ronnie.
But that was already talked about, and then it happened for like one event and then stopped.
Well, honestly, shout out
happened
because they were the one team. They were the one company who brought a bright shell. They were like, "All right, we'll do it," and then no one else did, and then it kind of was like this.
They were like, "Bro, what?"
They were like, "Yeah, cool, we did it. Now we're gonna go back." It's like,
and then I love GI being like, "Guys, don't worry, we're bringing a pink fill." Okay, it's still a dark purple ball. We still can't see it in flight unless you have like the perfect shot.
It doesn't help the cause. The reason you do it is so the videographers and all the media could see it. Even the cameras above would be able to see it better. You know what I mean?
No, even the Go Sports broadcast would be able to pick stuff up better. Which
that's what I'm saying, dude.
Would probably bring more people into the sport. So I don't get why that's a bad thing.
I don't either. Like, it's not like you play virtual or you play infinite and you can't see the paint flying. It's like, well, that'd be stupid, So
just ghost balls everywhere.
There's a reason why in digital paintball you couldn't shoot blue or gray paint in any of the servers, okay? It's because you can't see it. So if you're gonna do it in real paintball, you do it right, okay? This isn't the old days where it's like an advantage where you have a black shell ultra evil ball. It's like now we're trying to make this thing big, so let everybody see it, so we can all know where the paint's flying. So it'd be cooler for the fucking videos.
And the way that I say it all the time is go back and watch some like old school paintball footage. They're filming on very low quality cameras compared to what we have today. But you can still see every yellow paintball flying through on that 15 balls per second rope. It's like
exactly.
There's the whole entire stream. I know what he's shooting at. There was more paint in the air, but the yellow a 480p camera is picking up this yellow so much easier than 4K is with this dark purple ball of death.
Like a razor phone can pick it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
not the razor, dude.
I had one of those. I had so many cool clips of me on there. Moorhead brings it up to so he's on the other side of things. He thinks it's a skill gap because he can see the dark shell paint really well, and I mean we can, right? But it's not for us. It's for the cameras. You know what I mean?
For sure.
That's it. I get it. I get what he's saying where it's like, it is a skill gap because some players really just have a hard time seeing it when you're playing. I know there has been instances where I'm like, shit, dude, I don't even like that ball is like way too fast for me to dodge. But realistically, if it was a yellow ball, I probably would have dodged it, Yeah. But for the cameras, man, like do it for the fucking greater good of the sport.
Dude, I think that's a great hot take.
Pink shell, yellow fill.
Oh, run
that'd
it.
That'd be perfect. Yeah.
That'd be literally perfect because I feel like pink is just that perfect vibrant to where, you could see.
Like it was in Chicago that one year. It was the pink shell HK.
Good.
Yeah.
So bright. Good. You saw all the paint. You see the ball bounce off Malloy's head when Mouse shoots him. Like, all this shit, like that alone. Oh, what was the event? Who was it? Cena did a video of Dallas PSP, I think. Do you know which one I'm talking about? And it was in the mud.
What, 2015 Dallas?
Yes, 2015
Yeah,
Dallas. And when we were shooting True Semi. We're shooting True Semi.
Okay, yeah.
And all the paint was bright at that time. And it was all yellow. Yes, that alone right there was like,
that was so good because everything was brown.
Yeah, and it was so sick because you saw this shit flying. I don't know. We could beat a dead horse with this one, but
yeah, no.
So
I mean, I think it's a really valid take. I think like HK
if we're gonna do it, just fucking do it.
Yeah, HK
don't say we're gonna do it and then do it once and then don't do it again.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, put your foot to the floor. Just do it. Commit to it, and then hopefully maybe Tom could also get some pressure too. Like, I guess I don't know. I also don't understand why the league wouldn't mandate something like that. I of course don't understand all the business practices and everything. So I'm not gonna pretend to understand. But yeah, I'm in the same spot. So
right.
I don't know. Hopefully that's my wish list for Christmas this year for paintball is bright shell paint.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the pink paint?
We could do it. I mean, I think pink paint. I mean, the paint itself, pink. That's just kind of grody. Do not like that it stains. You know, like my fingertips. That shit's getting stained for sure.
Dude, ruining my white cleats.
Yes, anything that you wear that's any kind of light color is getting like stained for sure.
Torched, dude.
So it's actually, I think that part is very, very frustrating.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
We weren't even playing. We were just pitting for impact, and we're coming off stained as hell. It was
what the fuck? Well, dude, like you just showed up and now you just leave pink. It's like, I don't know.
The Pro Paintball Cup definitely don't help with that because the nets are just spray zones.
Yeah. I remember seeing Tyler Harmon's hands. Tyler Harmon's hands were, dude, a different shade of pink.
Dude, I wore gloves and my hands were still pink. Right? Like, and I guess that shows like who plays 10-mans and who doesn't because they have pink paint and 10-mans, you know?
Yeah.
But like,
still hate
they
it.
were just bitching.
This doesn't make it right.
It doesn't make it. Yeah.
I don't know.
For sure, man. Brandon, did you have any questions lined up for our guest? I know you had a busy day cutting people open, so I didn't know if you got some stuff written down.
Absolutely, I do.
Let's go, buddy.
Let's hear it.
So over the years, I've heard you say that when you left Houston Heat after your first stint and you went and played with Aftershock, those
I got cut, but yeah.
Hey, well, okay, all right.
Yeah. I'm just letting it be
think you were with Shock. Yeah, I think you were with Shock for 2 years or so.
Yep.
But those 2 years, you say that you learned a lot, like either about the game and but what exactly did you learn? I've never heard you necessarily divulge into that a little more. You know?
Well, okay, so I didn't get cut from Houston Heat because of playing purposes. Like I wasn't like not good enough, you know. Also, they were bringing the Russians back, and they brought Malloy with them. So like that could be argued that they, you know, maybe had some, like those players at the time just were our chaos. They just won World Cup, right?
They're just dominant.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, okay, like I argued it, and I was like, I don't know if I was delusional with it or what, but I was like, yeah, they cut me so they could bring the Russians back, the best players in the world. Like on paper, theoretically, yeah, they did cut me for better players. You know what I mean? But I've also heard that I you know, through talking through the camp, like it wasn't because of that. It was because I was just young, you know, young and kind of immature. And I think that attributes to the success happening so fast. You know what I mean? Like think about it. You're like a 19, 20-year-old kid. You win your first pro event, and then you literally dominate the next season, and then you like now you're on top of the moon, you know? Like so I think for me it was like overnight success. It was so fast, and then like my head was kind of getting, you know.
When I was gonna say, like, it's very important to have that time where you learn how to lose and like learn how to kind of take those harder moments and take the kind of the positive what you can from them, and you know, grow to be a better player because of it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, I think it was even off the field stuff, right? Like, it'd be small things like being a few minutes late to, like, you know, getting up for practice. Like, small things like that, like, I think Sarge saw was like, okay, we need to part ways until he grows up, you know? And I think I took that, like, I'm never going to be late again. I'm never going to fucking fuck up, you know? Like, so that was my thing. I got myself in line after that, you know? And I kind of
it was kind of that like, all right, like it was that not a turning point, but very similar to that where you're like, oh shit.
Yeah,
okay,
it was.
All right. Yeah,
it was.
Okay.
I would say it was a turning point for my maturity level as a person, you know? And I think that's ultimately where it was. And so when I got back on Heat, like I was, you know, I just tried to be the best teammate that I could be, but also the most responsible one for myself, you know? Not, we always joke about it, like not having like a half toasted bagel running out the door, like while everybody's waiting in the car type shit. You know what I mean? Like first one of the car, first one to wake up, like stuff like that, because it speaks volumes to the organization, you know?
And everyone here who's traveled to a tournament knows that guy, you know, the guy who's always barely getting into the car and everyone's waiting on him, and it's like, you don't want to be that guy. Just get there,
don't
wake
be
up
that
5
guy.
minutes earlier.
I'm a big advocate of like, if you have to wake up, okay, so like say you have to leave at 8 a.m., right? You should be up at 100%. Like,
at least
it's not like like 7:50. I like when I was younger, it'd be like 7:55, and I'm like, yep, I got 5 minutes, you know?
Not time.
Like plenty of time, you know, but it's like, no, I'm waking up an hour before or an hour and a half just so I am already like your brain's still waking up, so you're activated, right? So by the time you're in the car and you're already firing, you know? And then when you go out and play your first point of practice or whatever, like you're already like your brain's fully awake by that time. But if you're rolling out of bed, getting in the car and you're half asleep still, and then you get to practice, it's like, well, fuck, dude, like you're not, like there's somebody on the other team that woke up earlier than you who's going to be better than you that day, you know? So
he's already awake. Ate his Wheaties that morning.
That's what I'm saying, dude. 2 bowls.
Dude, I get that advantage when it comes to practice because I'm up for all these motherfuckers, especially Brando.
Hatch has a
He said,
3-hour commute, right?
Yeah, I have a 3-hour commute to practice every weekend, so that one's amazing. Not gonna lie,
so you have a 3-hour commute and you're there earlier than some people who live close.
Yes,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think the people who live close should be offended.
I completely agree.
Especially the one that lives on the property.
Literally, yes.
Oh, yes. Motherfucker,
Shots fired.
Like, because I'm not even gonna lie, dude. I'll be late sometimes, but I will text in the group chat, and it pisses everybody off because it's always so early. I'll be like, "Yo, I'm be late, dude. Like the bathroom's hitting, you know, because I got a whole 3-hour drive ahead, you know." So
it is what it is. I mean,
for sure, man.
You guys, like exactly what he said. You got that guy who you know is going to be late, so that's why, like, for those people, I usually tell them to be there like an hour earlier, you know, and say like, "Oh, we're going to be here at this time," because I know they're going to be late, so they will show up on time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that absolutely makes sense. Like I feel hey, relax, Ryan. All right, I rushed.
You did. Rushed. We appreciate
Heard my
that.
ass. I know we do that. We usually say like, if we're trying to practice be at the field ready at 8.
Yep.
Let's make it 7:30 because the guys are gonna bullshit.
Yeah.
We call it bullshit time because it's always a factor.
Mm-hmm.
It is a legitimate factor. You know, sometimes we like to mess around in the morning. We like to push each other around. So
yeah, everyone does. That's how we are too.
Yeah.
Yep. Ryan, you know what it's like because you spent an event with us. We wake up unnecessarily early.
Yeah, oh my god. I there is a limit. Like I think Cedar woke up 2 hours early both days, and this is at like 4:30 a.m. or like 4 a.m. One of those 2 times. I think we could sleep until 5 at that day if we're leaving at 6. You know, it doesn't need to be the 4 wake up call, but hey, that's what he had to do. And there's a reason I was so tired.
Game, Ronnie, what time are you waking up if you have a 7 a.m. game?
So how far is the field?
Like 15 minutes. Like
15 minutes. 15 minutes.
15 minutes. 7 a.m. game. I'm up at 5.
That's what I was thinking too. I thought 5 was a good time.
I'm up at 5, 5:30 at the latest. You know, because we're gonna have to be at the field at 6. You know.
Yeah.
Or 6 to at least 6. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Pushing that, you're starting to run into problems.
5:30 is still too late. No, I would be up at 5. I'd have to be.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, that means I'm going to bed super early, which doesn't normally happen. So that night I'm getting 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah. We do the little extra. We do like 4:30 because some people they like making breakfast. They like making the Jimmy Deans in the morning. You know,
everybody's got their I feel you on that, especially World Cup with the house and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I like me personally. I love having a house over hotels just because you know it's like playing family with the boys.
Yeah.
You know? That's my
team
favorite
bonding,
shit.
dude.
Yeah, because one thing that I want to convey is when you're an adult without paintball, how often would you really be having sleepovers with the homies, realistically?
No, it's true.
No,
you don't.
yeah,
it's
no.
not a thing.
I feel like that's a thing where
They'd be like, why the fuck wouldn't I just go home?
exactly,
All right, bro.
like, why
I'll
the
go to
fuck
my
do you want to
place.
sleep over at my house, bro? But now it's like with paintball, it's like second nature spending time with like your boys.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
true. I think the house is cooler because it brings the team together, but also sometimes it's nice to have your privacy, you know? So that's why you get the best of both worlds with the house. You could go in your room, you lock the fucking door, or I get it.
Ronnie
I
dropping
totally
the
get it.
Hannah Montana reference. God
Dude,
damn,
we
that
had
was a
we had
bar.
so much privacy in our room.
You guys had like 6
yeah, you guys were
dudes in
going
there.
deep.
And that was also by choice. There was more room.
That was bad.
but
That
you
was our
guys
choice.
just
We're like,
wanted
fuck it,
to-
boys.
Hey man, the
party
boys want to
together.
play.
Yeah, we were just like, fuck it. We set up the laptop in there, had How to Train Your Dragon playing. Dude, it was a nice
There you go.
weekend after we got done playing.
Run it.
Yeah. We also
So-
went, Ronnie, have you ever partaken in medieval times down there at by World Cup?
Like the actual medieval times, like
Yeah.
the franchise. There's one in Chicago that I've been to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
yeah.
we went to the one down there during World Cup,
Yeah.
and that's an absolute blast. We had a lot
Dude,
of fun.
Man, I went wasted one time. I don't remember shit.
Yeah.
But I do
Yeah,
remember
I definitely
that,
had a
like, you
couple
know,
drinks.
you have to pick your knight or whatever.
Who was your knight?
Yellow, right?
Let's fucking
Yellow
go!
That's what I'm
Knight.
saying,
Yellow
baby.
Knight
Let's
squad.
go.
Let's
Let's
go!
go. We win
Yellow
those.
Knight for life.
So we're like, we have there's like a birthday party in front of us with like little kids. And then there's these drunk fucking assholes right behind us. And we're screaming, yellow! Like at the top of we're so loud, bro. And then we won. And then we went fucking ape shit, you know? But like,
Oh, you
I
guys
just,
had a
like-
different script than ours. Yellow lost
Damn.
during ours.
We had the
but,
worst script ever.
damn.
Yeah, he gets his butt kicked not only once but twice. He like comes
shit.
back and then loses again, and I was like, damn. But we've told the story on the podcast, but real quick for you, we had a couple other paintball teams in our section, so it was
Yeah.
literally just madness going on.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone was yelling at the top of their lungs, and
Dude.
you could see the knight was so happy. He was like,
Yeah.
people are here for me. Like, he probably hasn't had a crowd like that in a while.
You
so,
know,
yeah,
it makes
was
me
a blast.
pissed off thinking that guy came out with a big ass smile on his face, knowing he was gonna fucking lose on purpose. Now that I think about it, that guy, do not like
Yeah,
that.
dude. Do you think they just like pull straws or like roll a dice? Like,
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah?
I do.
What?
I
like,
think
ah,
it's
shit, I got the shit end of the stick today.
Yep, they're like pulling straws in like the pregame lobby.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, fuck, dude. I gotta
damn
die
it, I
again.
lose
This is like
today.
the third day in a row. My parents are gonna think I suck.
Dude, and the
Yeah,
guy we
fun.
were shit talking, of course, wins. Like
Oh,
what?
of course. Of course.
That was what was that was what got me.
Oh,
Fuck
you
the
guys
Green
booed
Knight.
him?
Fuck him for
Oh
life.
yeah.
Yeah.
We were booing
Nice.
that guy like crazy. We were by far the loudest people in there, by far.
Fuck that guy,
It was a
dude.
blast because it was like, yeah, like I said, there was a couple other paintball teams and then all of DMG plus all the family as well. It was packed out section. It was a lot of fun.
That guy blew, dude.
We were yelling so much, dude. I had to like take a second and like get oxygen in my lungs from before my head was like
Getting lightheaded.
explode. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
definitely getting lightheaded.
Dude, those are the moments that you think about and you're like, when you're older, you're gonna be like, damn, dude.
That was
I
blast.
got to live really loud back then. I got to do
Thanks,
whatever the fuck
paintball.
I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
No,
It's
that's a
paintball, dude.
classic example of Maddie's gifts of the game quote. You know, that's what it gives back to you.
That's it, man. Those memories, like, and you don't feel it and you don't really understand it until later, you know, like it sucks. Cause like you're very grateful for all these fun moments, right? But then it's like, holy shit, you look back now and you're like, damn, dude, those were like some of the best times, you know? So,
Yeah, I mean, the crazy thing, like we were just talking about one night in November, that was more than a decade ago. That was
Jeez.
already 10 years have passed since that moment in time.
yeah, we still talk about it. That's tight.
Yeah. Thanks, Dan. Made a cool project.
Yeah. Shout out to Dan.
Who actually might be coming on the show in the near future. So
There we go.
sneak peek for
Ooh.
that. Stay tuned for
Hint,
that, guys.
hint.
Let's go. I have a question from actually one of our listeners on Spotify. So let me drop that up real quick. Let's see. It's shout out Chris. This is our Canadian viewer. Always asks us
Chris.
what's going on up there. He wanted to know all of our thoughts on if the NXL would ever host one of their 5 events in Canada. That'll be a quick answer. And he also would say, you know, theoretically, if they did, would U.S. teams travel like Canadian teams do? And, you know, he gave a rest in peace to CXBL and CPBL, which were definitely some awesome series back in the day. I remember seeing some cool videos from CXBL. But
Dude, CXBL
yeah,
was sick.
I mean,
Was that 15 balls a second?
Yeah. And
Damn, that's
halves.
sick.
Oh, it was full X ball too, right? Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, full X
Okay.
ball.
Penalty box.
Yes, dude. We won that 2 years. We won that 2 years in a row, and we lost 2 years in a row. I could have had 4 rings right now.
Damn.
I lost to Vicious 1 year, and then I lost to Marcelo, Mouse. Well, this was the super team. It was. Listen to these lineups. Ready?
Oh God, yeah.
Heath Brown, Billy Bernaccia, Mouse, Jason Edwards, Jacob Edwards, Chad Bougier, Matt Derula. That's like the ones I can name off the top of my head. That was their line, right?
Fuck.
Oh wait, no. Jacob was not on that team at the time. We beat him the year before.
But still,
okay.
That's
okay, so yeah,
insane.
Jason was on that team, right? And Marcelo, right? Marcelo, Mouse, Keith. Okay. And then our line was me, Jacob Edwards, Ryan Greenspan, Nick Sloviak, LJ Woodley, Chad George. Like we had like the battle of the century, bro. It was sick.
And it happened
and
in
I
Canada.
remember
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. And I remember we beat them in the like the first round, so they had to go to the losers bracket. And we beat them like pretty bad. And I was feasting on the Doritos. And then I hurt my knee. So then we went to the finals game and I didn't play. And then they beat the fuck out of us. I'm like, fuck, man. If I didn't hurt my knee, dude, I don't know if we would have won still because they were on fire. But yeah. Anyway, sorry. I had to put that out there. It was like,
no, that's
epic.
That was sick.
Yeah, that's a dope story.
Titan battles, bro.
God, I wish I could see footage from that game because that would just be amazing.
I think there still is some.
Fuck yeah. All right, we'll have to look. Brandon, do your job. Find the footage.
I'm looking.
He's already on it.
It should be on like by PBL's YouTube, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, just to get your thoughts for Chris. I mean, obviously, I don't think the NXL would ever do something like that. Just money issues and stuff like that. The logistics of it. But would you like? How do you feel on when teams travel up to go play, in Canada and kind of spread out, to other regions around the world?
I think it's smart for any pro player if they want to get a well-rounded game to go play in a different league somewhere by yourself and learn what it takes to be a leader and a coach and a player. Really, like if you can go overseas, go play with some random guys you just met, and then make that team a winning organization, like you as a player are going to be so much better, because it forces you to do all the work and rise to the occasion for like, you're not only just the hitman, you're also the guy who's like the Oliver for your team, to like be the influence to hype your guys up and bring that energy, So I think, like when I went over to Australia, that really helped me become the player I am now because I learned how to be well-rounded, and then that translates to when you come back over and then you're with your boys and now you just have a little bit more fuck you in you, because you know what it takes, Yeah. So there's that. To his point of going to Canada, I think it'd be very difficult logistically for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's one thing to go over to Europe and play in that league, but like to have the US NXL league go up to Canada, I think it'd be hard. I think it would. I just, that's just my opinion.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's one of those things that, that'd be cool. And technically it's still a Northern America event, it's
the
part of the
CXL.
continent. But I just...
Well, also, it's difficult to get paintball markers into Canada sometimes.
That's true.
I've had a lot of stops, like maybe every time. Every single time.
Canada?
Yeah, where they pull you into a room and then they ask you how much money you got on you and what the hell is this thing, and they look at your tank and then they're like, okay, well this can't pass through. I'm like, well, I've been here like 3 times this year, dude. Like, so I just there's way too many fucking rules.
Yeah, and that definitely the more.
And how many paintball players have like DUIs? Because then you're not getting in for sure.
That's a good ass point too. Yeah, there you go. Felons are instantly out.
You're done for. Like.
It's half the league.
Damn.
No. But all right. Well, yeah. No, I mean it would be cool, but it's kind of that'd be insane logistics wise right now. Brando, did you have anything else for our esteemed guest?
Yeah. He you kind of touched on it already. I had a question about traveling overseas or to another league and playing, especially out of the country. Like how would one go about it? What steps? What advice would you give someone to take steps to go play somewhere else, overseas or something?
Okay, so for pro players specifically, I think it'd be good to contact your sponsor. So like for me with HK, because HK knows what teams over there are, their sponsored team, right? But also they have the connections to that entire organization, and then they could give you some advice of like, okay, like, yeah, this person, they have the resources to be able to help you get over there, and I think your sponsors have all their team accounts, so they know who's who, So as a pro player, I think that's a smart way to try to get connected with a team, because what they're going to do is they're going to be like, hey, pro player from XO team wants to come play with you guys over in Europe, would you guys be open to this? And now it opens the conversation up versus you having to go out of your way to try to figure it out. Now you could cold call them basically and just like message them and ask if they need players, But if you're not like a well-established name, which I also think all pro players should be establishing their name if they want longevity in the sport. That's a different topic, but I think there's like multiple avenues to try to get over there. Now, if you're like a divisional player wanting to go play in Europe, I mean, it's kind of the same concept, but you kind of just have to make friends. Like you have to do a lot of networking and know the right people, But also the people who do know a lot of people, even the pro players, like they may have the connections you need to go play in Europe, So I think this sport is so small where you can network and find out the avenue. Like if one of you guys wanted to just go rip it in Australia, But yeah, so like I think that's, if you're not already being asked, then those are some like steps or like advice for ways to get exposed to getting over there. I think everyone should experience it if you're in the sport. It's really cool.
Okay.
Yeah. See, going through the sponsors, that makes so much sense. I don't know. I didn't think that was an avenue.
Yeah, I mean, especially for
you don't have to change gear or anything like that.
Right. Well, I mean, I think that's the first thing you got to think about. It's like, okay, who do you represent in the States? For me, I represent HK. I represent DLX. And I it's in my best interest to stick with a team that, aligns with my sponsors. It makes it more fluid and easier when it comes to if you win the event and you're like, oh, hold on, I got to hold my gun up while you guys hold your gun. You know what I mean? So that's one. But yeah, I mean, again, the sponsors, they understand that pro players and players in general want to network and play in Europe, and maybe they'll have some hints on, hey, this team kind of was lacking a snake player, so I don't know, that's one aspect. I mean, I have the luxury of being close with the guys at HK, so maybe it's a privilege for me to be able to talk to them and see what they know. But I think if anybody on our team reached out to HK, they'd probably be like, okay, well, let's see if we can work something. You never know. So
yeah. No, and it's probably mutually beneficial for them to also have you over there kind of representing their brand as well and being like, hey, guys, you're playing under HK, cool. Then, hey, here's freaking Ronnie Dizon to come help you guys out. Like, yeah.
Exactly. It's like, hey, like, well, with you being with us, there's some pro players who want to come play. Here's your choices. Like, do you want any of these guys? Like, here's their fees, here's their compensation. You know what I mean? We'll start at this rank, like, here's your list to pick from. But yeah, I just think it's exactly. So.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
All right, Hash. I know you're getting towards the bottom of your list, but you got like one or two more, I think.
All right. So, would you rather?
Here we go.
Fight an orangutan once a year, but you have a sword, or fight a chicken every single time you get in your car? Every single time.
I'm orangutan, dude. Give me that fucking thing, dude.
That's my guy. I knew he was gonna be.
That's what I'm saying, boy. Dude. Give me what kind of sword are we talking? Like a katana,
long sword,
dude?
Probably a long sword, dude. Katanas. I think katanas are low key when it comes to longevity. Katanas are overrated, bro.
Really? Okay. Well, whatever fucking sword you give me, I'm going at that thing, dude. I'm training all year, dude. It's like you do it once a year. You're saying?
Yes, once a year.
I mean, you should extend it to like once a month, but yeah, once a year. Okay. Think about this, dude. You are literally training all year. Like it's like peak week. It's the month of like the orangutan fight, dude. And you're locked in, bro. You know what I mean? And then you go, fight this thing. You could sell tickets, bro. It's like a huge event.
Dude.
The chicken, every day you get in your car, bro. Nobody gives a fuck.
How many times I get in my car a day? Do you know how many times I get in my car a day?
That's what I'm saying, dude. Yeah, that's so many chickens.
Yeah, I would have endless food realistically.
Kind of fire.
Yeah, bro. Like, Yeah, no, that's a no-brainer. Like, dude, if people who live in like the Philippines have to fight a chicken every day,
That's just life. Yeah.
That's very
you know
true.
what I mean? Like, yeah, bro, that's normal. Maybe if you upped it to like if it was like a I don't know, like a lion, that's kind of scarier. I think that's scarier.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
So the other popular question that Hatch has asked all of our guests, and I'm gonna jump in with it because I think it's a good spot for it.
Let's
Do
fuck
you
it.
think that Houston Heat, the professional paintball team, could take on a full-size grizzly bear? Now, to set up the situation a little bit more, we have decided that the grizzly bear fight is taking place in an abandoned Chipotle. So it's kind of like small, close areas,
quarters, kind of.
but it's the whole team, it's all the boys, and you guys are fighting. To give a recap of some of our answers, Scott Stewart and Jonathan Chavez thought that they could get it done with PB Fit. They think that Fit's going to be able to pull it out. DMG, they think that they're going to be able to do it as well.
But if it's a grizzly, you get
Casualties.
everybody gets a knife. Everybody gets a.
we
Everybody
all have
gets like a-
knives?
I forgot this.
Everybody
yes.
gets like a 5-inch fixed
Done.
point. That's
Done.
Yeah.
okay. Damn,
Done.
like that. Holy
Dude,
shit.
I'll just send Mishka on him and he'll take care of it, bro.
Holy
That's a
shit.
good
Okay.
point. That's a good, we
You
didn't
know
think
what I
about the
mean?
Russian factor.
He is Russian,
You know,
damn.
they
Bro,
grew up doing
yeah,
that
dude.
stuff.
That's what I'm
Russians
saying.
can
Like
2v1
you
'em.
see, like you got Mishka and Yaya to like, you know, fucking yell at it, and then Tyler throws me over him and I land on him and I start stabbing him in the head, dude.
That's
and then you
that's
got
what I'm saying.
right, and then you got Sam drinking a beer, and then Chad George is just like getting his
Sam's
legs
just
and
drinking.
yeah,
That's-
dude. Moorhead is just like fucking I don't know, like he's stabbing him too, you know. Like,
No
okay.
pads.
Yeah, no
dog
pads
man.
at all. Raw
he
dog.
just has the headband and like
Just as
some
an American
loincloth
bandit.
on. It's like
Yeah.
what's happening,
Buck
man?
naked, just running at this thing like Tarzan.
Barefoot, no shoes.
Yeah, dude.
letting out
Connor,
a
he's
big
from
battle
Florida,
cry.
dude. They're tough down
Yeah,
there.
Florida,
you know?
That guy
man.
probably
Yeah, there you
fights
go.
like
He
that guy probably
wrestles
fights
alligators.
boas. Yep.
Yeah, dude. Fuck.
Big old pythons.
And then there's Tyler. The bear will run away when he sees Tyler.
They'll
Very
be
true.
actually looking each other in the eye. It'll be like an
That's
even
what I'm
match.
saying. Yes.
It's crazy
But-
because you have Yaya, whose spirit animal is a leopard,
Yeah.
and then there's a leopard
the
or a
tiger.
cheetah. And then you got the
It's a
tiger.
Yeah, Leopard King and the tiger, dude.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
That was
No,
some
yeah,
exotic animals on a roster. Not
I
even
think
gonna lie.
he could definitely get it done. That's
Oh, yeah, we got it.
it's kind of a staple question we're bringing in on the show. But
Yeah. I think we got it. I think.
all right.
Sweet, dude. Hell yeah.
We're
That's
gonna
a
like
totally
we're all gonna
realistic
wake up one day.
situation.
We're gonna
Yeah.
wake up and you guys are like in a room with Mr. Beast, and we're just fighting this bear. And
It's
we're
just
like,
us
oh,
and Jimmy,
fuck.
and like every paintball team that's answered the question is like, what is going
yeah,
on?
lined up in these like rooms, and then you open the room, and it's just like we like the bear's there, and we're like, oh shit,
Billion
it's a
view
Chipotle.
video. It's
You guys are up there
Chipotle,
eating
yeah.
Chipotle, dude.
It's all sponsored by Chipotle.
By
Yeah,
Chipotle,
100%. There
yeah,
we go,
dude.
Yeah.
The winners get free Chipotle for life. You know,
Ooh.
But every other
Worth
team
it.
just gets maimed and like has dude
What if that's
walk
like the
out,
next step for paintball? We just got to do like exotic animal fights. Like that's just what paintball needs to move on to.
Okay, I don't.
All-
I don't know
all
if
pro
that's
roster.
See the
we need to
relation.
go full Joe Exotic.
Yeah, that's my style. I wish though.
hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, the mullet doesn't give it away enough.
No,
No, it's fire.
the black
Dude, I'm getting there, man.
So.
I'm getting there, dude.
Are you growing a mullet yourself now?
I got like a mini mullet going on, but yeah, it's like
Okay,
you know,
that's
it
what I like
is
to
what it
hear.
is.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll be checking up on that one for sure then.
I don't know how long I'll let it go, but we'll see. I can't wear like headgear because it just gets all puffy. I don't know. I got like really puffy hair. It's like puffy.
You know, I
Yeah.
went to the balaclava. That's what I went to, me
Yeah.
personally, and that's kind of what gets like tames the hair a little bit. You know.
So I did that for a while, and then I didn't. So
Forgot the shiesty. So yeah.
I don't know. He's gonna put it on now.
God damn it.
Do the
Ash.
rest of the
But,
podcast.
I
with
wish
it
I
on.
would just let my dog on. I wish.
Oh, I thought you were gonna put it on and do the rest
Shout
of the
out,
podcast
Callie.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah, should go crazy.
yeah. Well, all right, man. Brandon, jumping back to you one more time. Do you have anything else?
I do. So I know you work. You play pretty closely with the Blast Camp guys, right?
Yeah.
Now with them taking the step up to pro, like how do you think they're gonna fare in the pro division?
I think that you know what, like I think they're gonna do well. I do.
I agree.
really do. I think they could, and this is a fair thing to say. I think they could be a middle of the pack pro team.
I agree.
You know what I mean? I think they will. I don't really know what the dynamic is with their situation with NRG, like who's staying, fully. I don't know. Or if any of them are staying or what that's going to be. So if they don't change too many pieces, if you think about it, I mean, besides Paintball Fit being their kryptonite last year, they were a very good semi-pro team, right?
Very consistent. They made the finals.
I mean, nobody else really gave them fucking problems,
Well, there's a couple dudes on this podcast gave him a problem.
Yeah.
But.
Well, yeah, no, I know that. I know that. But I'm saying, like, in terms of consistency of, like, the entire year, right?
Yeah. No,
Fit
you are
was, like,
yeah.
the very, like that was they just couldn't beat Fit.
It was 1
The
and
only
2.
real team
it was
that
a
beat 'em.
clear 1-2. Like, it wasn't, Fit and then who everyone else. It was Fit, Camp.
Right.
That's, clear.
Exactly. Now, if you were to take both of those teams, right, like, mid-season, and if you were to just kick them into pro and there was 22 teams, I don't think they would have done that bad. You know what I mean? I don't. I really don't.
I agree.
Like the bottom 5 teams or so, I think they would have a very high probability chance of beating some of those teams just because of the camaraderie, the fucking ability of how locked in they were to like
Chemistry
actually
is everything,
winning.
man. Chemistry is so much.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like they were the best second place team all year,
For sure. I think the thing I've said with camp, and I think something that at Vegas might be kind of a learning experience, is just the speed of pro. Because I don't know how many people on that roster are used to just, hey, something happens, a split-second decision is being made to capitalize off that. Are you ready to counter that? And that definitely can wake you up at an event and be like, oh shit, okay, we gotta be ready for this quicker pace of play.
So here's something I want to translate to it, and this is where it gets kind of lost. But okay, Fit ran the same breakout in the finals, right?
Mm-hmm.
They just went short, okay, and they won the tournament. Infamous played short all tournament. Why didn't they win? Right? They did the same breakouts. They did exactly what Fit did to win the tournament. It's because the upper echelon of those top pro teams have the ability to throw in those haymakers that knock those things out of whack. You know what I mean? And I think that when Fit played Camp, it was almost like they played their game and then they slowly like got away with the game, and then they had to throw in haymakers, and it's too late at that point because they're already set up for it. It's like, oh, cool, we're up by 2. They're definitely going to run now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in pro, it's like, bro, they ran 2 points in a row, then they didn't run, then they ran another 4. Like, and they ran 3 different routes. It's like that complexity of the way Skinny and Todd and Joey and all the top, pro teams, it's like that is going to be where they're not going to have the knowledge yet for that pressure, with a Chris Scher like basically running down the Dorito side and like in the semi-pro division, I feel like if you were to compare it to the pro division, like I feel like the pro players are more or less like, okay, like I don't know how to explain it, but like they're more willing to like gunfight and put people in and apply a lot more pressure, where it's almost like you can't play the short game because it's almost scarier to play the short game sometimes. You know what I mean? Against a fast team like the Russians, or like, because these guys are like, yeah, fuck it, I'm just going to run through that gap even though you were shooting it. But in the semi-pro division, I feel like it's like, oh, he's shooting the gap, he's on me, I'm going to play the safe game on this. Like Ryan Moorhead, plenty of times, he's a perfect example of somebody who's made his career on this. It's like, hey, this guy's on us. He's like, yep, fuck it. And he just goes. And it's like, he makes it. And it's like, okay, you weren't supposed to. That guy was shooting the gap. He's like, yeah, I know. I just dove through it. And I'm like, through it? Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? So like, but like, that's how like Dalton and these top level pro players, they're just like, yep, just going to go through it and risk it. He hits me, So I think that in the semi-pro division, sometimes those risks aren't taken. Reward. Yeah. Like sometimes they're just not taken. Right. And I think when I've practiced camp a lot of the times, at their local field, like I know that there's that kind of pendulum where it's like, okay, this is the time where like I can take it and I can pressure it, and I don't think they'll be like anticipating it because it's like, oh, we're short right now, and it's like we're short, and then I just went fuck it and I just battled everybody and ran down the Doritos, and they're like, oh shit, he's still coming. You're like, roll off, shoot the gap, somebody else, like
it's like someone help me, dude. This guy's about to fuck me up.
Right, because usually it's like, okay, how many times where it's like, hey, he's gonna go, but he doesn't go because he knows that you're telling his guy that you're gonna go,
Yeah.
But now it's like, hey, he's gonna go. Oh, he actually went. Oh, he took 2 more bites. It's like, fuck, we gotta get out. So
I broke a ball. I can't shoot straight. God damn it, this sucks.
Now all this shit's happening, right? Now he's shooting a bounce shot that we haven't experienced yet because he's never been this far because every team we played before this hasn't fucking gone this far, So
yeah, no, it's.
I think those.
I mean, a good metaphor I feel like I can make is the high level rock paper scissors game of pro paintball, because like some stuff, if you throw paper and they throw scissors, you'll just get blown up off the field if you just aren't ready for what's going to happen. And so you can maybe make the changes then to be ready to throw rock against that scissors, but then if they throw rock, it's like, well, shit, all right, now we're just kind of butting up against each other, and now individual players need to make plays. And there's way more of that constant, ever changing, like you said, the run 2, wait 1, run 4. Like, it's just, it changes constantly. SK, these guys you named, they're all very smart when it comes to paintball and how to, mix up tactics. Right.
Yeah. And I think that's where maybe they haven't been exposed to it in terms of like, just again, that upper echelon of coaching and adjustments. But maybe they're not. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they'll go out there and just blow everyone's dicks off. Who knows? Right?
Yeah. And that does happen every now and then. We see a team come in, rookie first event, just kind of like, oh shit, all right, they came in and stormed everyone. But then film starts to come out.
It's rare.
It starts to get a little more, okay, we got to shut down this guy. This is their key player. And pro teams are smart like that. They'll pick a team apart and scout out, where to, push their advantages.
I think if it was a format like MPPL where it was best of 3, they would have a higher chance, right? Because now you're lessening the amount of points that you have to, you're lessening the amount of rounds you're going to have to go with a dynasty, Yeah. You have a higher probability chance statistically, right? Just like 7-man was. Like, I had no business winning that against Dynasty, really and truthfully in one night in November. But I did because there was only 3 points, Yeah. So it just
less times that the numbers have to roll in your favor, if it's like a percentage of they win 70, we win 30, but if we win 30 at the right time, then we win. So it doesn't, doesn't matter.
Right. I mean, if you look at the Hurricanes, they were consistently like, when they went pro, before they went pro, they were a consistent top team, right? They didn't win that many tournaments that year, or did they not even win a tournament that year? I don't even remember.
They didn't win any. I think they podium, like they got a third once. That was it.
Right. So they were consistent, but then now they're in the pro division. They're a middle of the pack team, They're not a team you want to see sometimes, just judging by how the layout plays, right? So yeah, I mean, there's a good test for what is to come.
And I think pro paintball is also very unique too, with teams definitely play specific styles of paintball. Now they can definitely change those and kind of make those work for the layout, that they're playing on. But I mean, everyone knows damage paintball. It's going to be slow. It's going to be controlled. They're going to just try to pick you apart. Like we mentioned earlier, impact. They just want to kind of strangle and kind of just choke you for pressure. I would say heat. You guys play a pretty aggressive style of paintball. It's a very similar, like we're trying to own territory. We're trying to make you feel like you're on your back heels. So that'll be another interesting thing to see how they, get used to some maybe styles they haven't played before, or maybe that weren't working as well in semi-pro.
Yeah, I will say, and it's to the damage paintball comment. I'm sure you've heard. I don't know if you heard the Joey Blue podcast. We play the game, but he did talk about like damage paintball is realistically in this current format. Damage paintball is like winning paintball, because when Dynasty's playing at the top of their game, that looks like damage ball. You know what I mean? It's really what the game has evolved to, where it's like, I mean, look at Impact, how they played Dynasty. That was like kind of more lockup down, like damage style ball. So I think the current format, how good these players are, I think everybody's playing damage ball, which is realistically just intelligent paintball. You know what I mean? I will say that we are a little bit more on the aggressive side when it comes to things. I think we are a faster team and we play better faster. But I think with the addition of players like Tyler and stuff, like I can't count how many times him and I were like, we were like 2-on-3s and stuff, like winning very low body situations. It's because like we know, like it's playing that pace, right? It's pacing the other team. So yeah, it's just the flow and the pace. And again, it goes back to that question that was asked earlier, like what's the most important thing that like a player, pro player, or a player that wants to get good is like, understanding that your field experience is your king. So when Blast Camp goes up there, like, the more experienced teams have the advantage off the rip because of them having that. But the scary thing about a new pro team is like nobody knows. Okay, like I know all their guys, and like a lot, like some of them know, but like
the average pro team does not.
Right. Like, I don't think Fedorov knows a single person's name on Blast Camp, maybe like one or two of them, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you don't understand like that person's tendency just yet, and if they come out the gate hot, it could be bad for some people who don't understand, oh, this person likes to battle like this, or snap like this, or shoot on the break like this, and then capitalize like this,
Yeah. No,
so,
and that's
if you don't follow them.
That's definitely something we see in the top level of paintball is guys knowing each other's tendencies. I mean, some of you guys have been playing pro paintball against each other for the better part of a decade now, so it's like you kind of pick up how your enemy plays when you play them that long for that many years.
Yeah, it's funny we say that because I was playing Virtua one-on-ones with Marcelo, and he was lined up on the snake side. And I'm like, he's going to fade back into the back center. No way he's running out on the snake side. And then it started, and he faded back in the back center. I go, I knew you were going to fade back into the back center. And he goes, how did you know? And I go, I just know you, motherfucker.
That's how you play. Yeah, that's funny. And that's
but it's like, he knows me too. It's the same shit, So.
Well, and I was going to bring that comment up with Virtua is I've seen people kind of play their play style in game. Like you can kind of be like, oh, yeah, that's kind of how Colt would, clear out that side. I've seen him do it in real life. And so that is definitely the cool part with some of those video games that we mentioned earlier is like, it is kind of another tool for paintball IQ, if you're able to get in there and see more things and without actually, having to shoot, real paint. Now, it's not as good of experience, but it's a tool, it's another tool that you can add to your arsenal, I feel like.
I agree that the tool is definitely an important thing.
I'm going to start running clinics on digital paintball games.
Okay.
Like Virtua and Infinite. And I'm going to do live. I'm gonna do live demonstrations of like paintball fundamentals, and I think it'd be a great way to demonstrate, like in the comfort of your own home. Like, hey, I'm gonna go over what containment is, and I'm gonna show you with this video game.
Yeah,
what I mean.
Great way of putting it.
Or also just being able to explain more of like, this is what I'm thinking right now as I'm playing a point.
Yes.
Like if you're live streaming stuff, you can have that ability to kind of talk through it more. Whereas when you're on the field, we can mic you guys up, but you're breathing a lot heavier, you're yelling, you're communicating, like there's more going in. Whereas, playing a casual game, you can be like, oh yeah, okay, I see him, he's matched up with me, I want to hold, I want to contain, and it's dropped, so now I'm going to get out. Like you can walk people through that stuff a little easier.
And you can also tell when you're playing the game, if the person who you're playing with, if it's a random, if they're good at paintball in real life. Like you really can. Yeah. Like you can tell if this person's doing like real tendencies of like a top player, or if it's like, bro, what in the fuck are you looking at right now? You're just looking left and right and fucking snapping everything and running in the open. And it's like, right off the rip, like, okay, this person in real life is probably a fucking, well, not there yet.
And even if it's not like, because mouse and keyboard skills and all that kind of adds into it a little bit, but there's definitely that like, okay, you've been on a paintball field before. Versus the dude who's like looking back towards Snake Corner and Snake One, and he's like looking all terrified. It's like, it's funny because you'll see those same D5 type, behaviors when you first see people get on the field. So no, it's funny that mirrors real life like that.
It does. It's their brains don't change. It's just it's just virtual now.
It's the input format. That's all that changed.
That's really what it is.
So. For sure, man. Let's go last question, Hatch. Kind of starting to get towards the end of our time here.
Dude, this has been fun, by the way. You guys are crushing it. I love this.
Thank you, bro. Seriously, we really appreciate you coming on, dude. Because seriously, we know how much you represent the game and everything. Seeing you on Hitch's podcast, dude, that was sick. Because I grew up watching Hitch, like watching like the Optic House and stuff. I'm a gamer myself. I'm a big gamer. I'm a nerd. So watching like the Optic House, like Nade Shot, Hex, all them, like that stuff is just so cool. Seeing you, being at the same table, talking to a guy, introducing paintball to a wider audience. That's my big thing. I love that shit.
Hell yeah.
But okay, who do you think is who do you think is going to beat, or who do you think Blast Camp is going to beat first out of any pro team?
Okay, wait. Like if we're going down the list of pro teams that they're going to be better than coming in?
Yeah. Or just any team do you think, like, what do you think is the first team that do you think they would beat?
Well, the Latin Saints are out.
Yep, Latin Saints are definitely out.
So that's not an option.
feel like that would have been the easy answer thoe, but
That would have been for sure the
it
easy
would have been.
answer.
Who is the next team? The Ironmen?
Iron Man, I'm pretty
Iron
sure.
Man, but I've heard rumors and whisperings of a big roster change and stuff coming through for them, so I'm not sure how that team's gonna do
I feel
next
like that's
year.
just common sense, though. Obviously, when there's like 4 dudes on their squad that like quit, obviously they need to, restructure. So,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, but you got to remember, restructuring a team doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be good.
No, that's true.
They might be.
Yeah.
They could be worse.
Very
Technically,
true.
you don't know,
That's true.
right? So that's hard to tell if they're gonna. I mean, on paper, a fucking fully fledged blast camp team versus like a Ironman team.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
No, I see
I'm
what
gonna
you're
take
saying.
blast camp on that.
Okay.
But like, you never know. I don't know what Nick Slovac and those guys have up their sleeve in terms of what they're going to be picking up. But they're also in a rebuild, man. And you've seen the rebuilds.
Mhm.
You've seen, like it's not going to be easy to find that groove just yet, right? And judging off of last year's performance, they weren't they're a bottom team. So if you take a top semi-pro team versus a bottom pro team, that's the real test, I guess, right?
Well, and I
agree.
I think Diesel really kind of they showed that, there is more to this game than just getting the top guys, on the field. There has to be, the right coach for them, the chemistry in the pits. Like there really is a lot that goes into being successful in the pro league. That's kind of past just individual skill on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I got a question. I don't know who I was talking to. I think I was talking to some of the people I game with. Okay, Uprising or Blast Camp? Who's winning that?
Damn, that's a good ass question. I think
it depends what
Right,
Uprising.
because Uprising definitely has the fucking gumption to play
They
very
have
high
grit
level
for
paintball.
sure. They
Right,
have
but-
grit for sure.
yeah.
But I feel like they kind of match up well.
I would agree. That is
Mm-hmm.
that's a good question, Ronnie. Man, I would probably say
That would be a really
Give me
tough
Blast
odds
Camp.
to make. Like if I was making the
saying
betting
Blast
sites
Camp?
and stuff that they're setting up.
yeah, I'd probably say Blast
Give
Camp.
me Blast Camp.
I think
So it looks like Ryan's leaning towards Uprising.
the problem is I've seen so many different versions of Uprising.
That's what I'm saying.
Because it's like one event they'll seem like, all right, a 3-win team, they're doing good, and then the next event it'll
crushing.
be 1-4 or 1-3, and you're like, what just happened? So
Right.
That's what I'm
I think
betting
based
on.
off World Cup, I would say Blast Camp. Be just
Because of their
we're taking
consistency
that-
throughout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
That
I
is
mean,
a close game, I would think. Yeah.
right? Okay, now Fit and Uprising. You saying Fit?
For sure fit.
I think fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
sure fit.
And that's what I'm saying. So it's like, damn, like to be able to like say like, and that's, I mean, what was Uprising this year? I don't know. Like,
I think they were 18th, were they?
I mean, one of the
18th
one
or
of the-
17th? Yeah.
One of the previous years that we've seen the second place team come in was when DMG was added to the league. That year, they also added another team or another spot to the pro league, and that's how New York Extreme was able to come up and
NYX.
join in. And they're obviously been a competitive. I mean, hell, they beat out DMG, but DMG technically was the team that won the pro spot that year. So
yeah.
it's the top 4 teams in semi-pro really. They are very competitive paintball teams, but it's sometimes you got to have the luck and the right elements and the right things going your way to win enough events to get that pro spot.
Yeah, for sure. Who's the middle team right now? Like, who's the middlest of the middle pack? That's the real.
Like 10th is Aftermath.
Okay, so Aftermath and Blast Camp. Who are you taking?
World Cup Aftermath. If
I
it's
think
based off that performance, yeah.
I think World Cup Aftermath.
It was World Cup Aftermath for sure.
Yeah.
I think they really showed like another gear at that event. I hope we see more of that coming next year, but that now long off season, how will that kind of momentum transition into, the 2024 season?
Yeah, I mean, we're just going off facts and statistics here because, I do love Nick Slovac and he's my boy, but it's like you look at you have to look at the data and it's like, okay, well, on paper, this, so we'll see how things change going into next year, right? Like how hard people actually want it.
And I think, that's the other beautiful thing with sports is at the end of the day, predictions don't matter, you still got to go out there and play a paintball match and anyone could beat anyone really at any point in time. I mean, paintball is like that, it's depending on, the little things we were talking about, the reffing, the paint situation, the layout, like it's very game that there's so many variables going on that you have to control a lot of them.
Right. So I'm excited. I want the season to fucking start.
Me too, bro. When they put that 90 days post up, I was like, dude, that is not soon enough.
Yeah, bro. I have a timer on my phone that counts the days down.
Got
So
the
it's just like
countdown
I
app.
look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One of
dude.
those.
Well, you guys
You
also
can
get
get
hit
them on,
pretty hard.
on-
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. I found some random one on like the App Store as soon as we lost World Cup, and I'm like, yep, we got a lot of time and I got a lot of work to do.
Well, I was gonna
Yeah.
say you guys get hit harder too in the Midwest because obviously it gets cold, snow. It's harder to get out to a field and play. You got to do some indoor situations. So yeah, I can see you guys definitely biting at the bit a little more to at least get out to a field and shoot some paint.
Yeah, man, you guys got it made with good weather, or at least better weather than 20 degrees, 30
It's not
degrees.
good, but it's at least you could go out and play. Like it's raining.
Yeah.
It's
What's it?
cold,
How
but,
cold
yeah.
is it there right now?
Oh
Like
man, it was
40?
probably
Ooh, it's 46 right now.
46.
Oh.
So, yeah, not great. Definitely not good.
No.
the
But-
one
not
morning
great. You could definitely
when I
play it,
woke up for
100%.
practice. It was like 33 degrees, and I was like, bro.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's 30 right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. You know.
we're
And then
not
it just
San
gets un-
Diego. Hey, don't. We're Northern California, all right? Don't come at us
That's
like
true.
that. We're not
That's true.
SoCal or Florida.
That's a fact. Okay, I'll give you guys that.
We have some seasons.
That's true.
But yeah, man.
I'm in the
All
hottest
right.
part of California.
Let's Brandon. Let's give you one last opportunity to ask him something.
Ooh.
What you
Okay.
got?
All right.
Come on, hit it, Fernando.
So, watching your videos since you started your whole Dizon docs, and I loved how it showed the actual lifestyle of a paintball player. Hearing about the lifestyle from like my dad traveling and everything, and then the little the insight that the Impact series gave, but that was, I felt, more just like on the field stuff a little more, whereas yours is just so personal and the back end of everything, and that's what I really enjoyed.
Oh yeah.
And it kind of fueled the fire of like, yeah, that's what I want to do too. I can visualize it more. That's what I want to do. What, like, if and I've heard you talk about wanting to make the videos tell the story within the your videos, but there is a little restraint because of paintball. You want to put everything into paintball. If there was no downside of you fully going into also making videos, do you have an idea of what those videos would be? What more you would want to tell within those stories of your videos?
Okay, so to go back to what you were saying, what do you mean by restraint with the paintball? That's what I kind of got confused.
Okay, so
I think.
so
Can I take a stab
here,
at it? Just because,
sure, yeah.
I think it was just like, if there wasn't a time restriction, you don't have to play on the field, or not even play on the field, but like, let's say you can spend more time making content in and around paintball. What would you want that content to be? Is that kind of where you were going, Brandon?
Yeah. If you can do 100% in each without taking anything away from each other.
Yeah.
And yeah, I that's what I'm trying to get to. Because I know you don't want your video making taking away anything from paintball necessarily.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. I think. Okay, do you guys know who Christian Guzman is?
That's
Not
the
too
French
familiar.
player, correct?
No,
Or
he actually is a bodybuilder.
bodybuilder. Okay,
Yeah. Do you know the company Alpha Elite? They make like joggers.
I
and-
have heard of them.
I've heard it, yeah.
Okay,
not
so
familiar, but
he
yeah.
is a huge reason why I kind of started vlogging. When he was in college, he would vlog his life as a college student and a natural bodybuilder. So he would like do bodybuilding, and then he would vlog like him studying and hanging out and dieting, and then he would do that every single day, right? And for me, it's kind of the same thing where it's like, okay, cool, pro paintball player, and I want to vlog like the rest of my life, being a normal person. I think I kind of got away from like the personal life a little bit, which I want to get back into, which I kind of think that it's difficult for me in terms of my like work capability, because it's like if I'm putting 100% into paintball and like working my ass off, I'm just exhausted, bro, to edit a video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as I get older, it only just gets more exhausting, right? Which brings me to my next point. I think I want to start doing like more short form stuff on like reels and shorts, and then I'll leave like big events for like the YouTube long form stuff, because I've been working with DQ, but that's a different story. But yeah, so what Christian does now, obviously he has a videographer that like kind of follows him around, and he focuses on the videos, you know, and Christian kind of just maps out what the video will be, you know, based on. So I think that would be ideal, because then at least like for him, he could focus 100% on running his business and bodybuilding. And then the videographer kind of takes, you know, the storyboard of what he had an idea of, puts it down, and then he conveys it in the way that, you know, the video editor does, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's
kind of what I do with DQ, right? But
yeah,
it'd be like having a DQ 100% of the time around me. Like that would be my most ideal situation, you know?
Yeah. Well, and that's something we're seeing, you know, there's a couple of YouTubers I follow who, like Destroying's one, he's like a football type guy, he does a lot of videos on that, and he hasn't filmed and edited his own videos for years, but he's making more content because of it. He's making bigger and better things because he's able to spend more time on setting up the event, or, you know, getting the hype guest or whatever it is. Yeah, there definitely is value in, okay, I'm going to have you focus on actually shooting and editing and producing and making it look good. I'm going to make good content, or, you know, I'm going to try to do things that I think would be exciting and, you know, compelling to an audience.
Yeah. I mean, nail on the head right there. It's like my event vlogs are like so well produced because of, you know, my relationship with DQ. Shout out to him. You know, I'm really happy that I was, dude, he's a fucking man, right?
So good.
I'm like so grateful that I was able to like make that relationship with him. But if I could do that like for every video, you know what I mean? Like if he came with me to the gym and watched me train, and then I was at Chipotle and we're hanging out and he's filming that, like shit like that, where we're like just fucking around, like that's where I would want to DQ around sometimes, you know?
What I'm hearing
cool.
is we got to blow up Dizon Docs. We got to get the 1 million subscribers going. We
Dude,
got to get that ball
I would
rolling.
love that, bro. I did like that. Like, you know, I've had a lot of people even message me like, you have a World Cup championship, like 2 of them on here, and that has less views than like some gun review, you know? So it's like, like, it's just crazy to me that it's like, you could be the best in this sport, and like, I could overshoot somebody and that'll get more views, you know? So it's just where the attention is. And it's hard sometimes to be motivated when it's like, fuck, bro, like you can fucking put out as many dope videos as you want of like whatever championships you have. But like, if I do a review on this barrel sock, it might get more views. It's like,
well,
so it's just the way the market
kind of
is.
the product nature of paintball.
Yeah.
Like it's because it's been that way for the longest time, you know, getting the newest, you know, loader, the newest gun, the newest barrel.
Right.
That's always kind of been a part of the culture. But yeah, no, I think stuff like Dizon Docs, Matt the Gym Rats videos, like those examples have definitely been making paintball more personal again, you know, more about, shit, I want Matt to do well at the tournament, or, you know, not just necessarily, oh, Matt shoots a Planet Eclipse, so what bolt does he have in it? What barrel system is he using? And, you know, it kind of takes it away from that super like hyper, you know, like retail pushing version that paintball was. I mean, for a lot of paintball, that's how it was able to be a thing, because we marketed, you know, different sponsors and different stuff. But that also gets kind of annoying to people in today's era, because we want to see more human type stories. That's, you know, that's why the NFL, they blow up off, you know, like the Kelsey and Swift type stuff, and not just plays that happen on the field, because humans today want to, you know, kind of hear that side of stuff more than, you know, oh,
so
shit,
you're saying paintball players need to date celebrities?
Well, that would help 100%. No, 100%. But I was just saying in general, I like, you know, they need to follow the example that you and Matt have kind of put out forth by, hey, put your face out there, talk to people. Like, you know, guys like, I hate to say it, but Mouse kind of does a little bit of a disservice for us, because he is one of our top players. Well, why is he, you know, he's very serious in all the stuff that he does, and you don't ever really get to see who Alex is, you know? For the longest time, I feel like it's always just been this persona of Mouse. And so I think that would, you know, if he showed people kind of who he was, I think a lot of people in paintball would eat it up. They would love to kind of, you know about him more, or other players, you know, who are in similar positions. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to that player wanting, because like I hate the fucking excuse of players saying, That's just not me. It's like, well, motherfucker, this is bigger than you. Like, and you got a lot of people who look up to you. So I think, like, personally, I'm like, dude, there's a lot of people who really, really want to see who you are, and so they could relate, so they could grind, and it'll inspire those people to be the next you.
Yeah.
So yeah, fucking put yourself out there.
And then another great example, freaking Tyler and Marcelo with Play the Game. Like, how many kids are freaking amazing fans of them now because they get to hear them chat and shoot the shit a couple hours a week.
I am.
Yeah. No, I love tuning into that show, but it's it's something that I think you're doing a great example with, and other people are, but it's definitely, that would be a helping tool, like the other stuff we've talked about with getting paintball out there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, people will help themselves if they want to, right? You could only inspire, right? So
very true.
That's true.
Yeah. Like the rise of like Matt the Gym Rat and all these other guys, and like Jackson Frey even does the vlogs. Like, I don't want to say like I, started, like this whole trend of YouTube vlogging. It's been around for a while. Ryan did it back in the day. J-Rab did it. But like, I will say, like, something I think I did was like made a reality of like, oh, cool. Like, this is a cool representation of this person and what they do and how cool paintball is. I would love to emulate that and like show my perspective, because I do something equally as cool, or else I think I do, or like, what I mean? Like, and for people who are like, oh, who's going to watch my videos? It's like, well, that's not up to you. That's up to the audience. You know what I mean? The audience is going to dictate if you're watchable. It's just, if you could put some fucking clips together, I'll watch it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And Ronnie watches everything. I mean, Ronnie, you were one of the first pros to ever kind of talk about Rebirth series, and like, when I was first kind of coming into the game, that was honestly huge support to me, because I was like, yo, that's kind of cool. Like, someone who's, a pro in the game sees this and wants it to be out there. So that definitely was, probably a little motivation to, get all started and kind of push hard and keep it going. So yeah, it's a ball that rolls downhill.
Joey Bluth said it. He's like, if you want to be the best at that thing, you got to watch everything, So for any of like teammates or any people who are like, yeah, I don't watch that shit, or like, they think they're above it, they're too cool. It's like, well, great. That's good for you. You're definitely not like, you're not in the headspace of being the best in the world. And now I see what your views align with. So that's fine. You can be the way you want to be, but I truthfully don't think that you really want to be here and you're not as obsessed as I am. You know what I mean? Like, it speaks volumes, right? Like, you guys love doing this because you love this sport, all three of y'all. So like, that alone to me shows that you guys have more in you. You got something else in you that's like driving you to keep talking about this, which is what the sport needs more of, because there's a lot of people who like don't do that. Or maybe they do and they just don't express it in the same way. But but yeah.
Well, for sure, man. We are, we're at time for the night, so we do have to start to wrap this up. But I want to say, Ronnie, I mean, a huge thank you from all of us over here. That was a blast of a time, and I think there was some awesome insight into some parts of the game that maybe people don't fully know about. I know a lot of my audience is on the younger side too, so I always try to talk about the history of the game and kind of show that for them and get that out for there. So yeah, no, I definitely appreciate it, man. We got our couple things we got to do to wrap up. So Hatch, I'm gonna need a code word of the week. What do people let us know about this week?
I would probably say code word Rondon. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. That shit's sick.
Oh yeah, let's go,
dude. I remember watching that when it first came out, and I'm like, dude, when is the next one coming out? I was like addicted. I was like,
dude, that's sick, bro.
I was like,
man,
when I was like, well, when I would finish my class up from college, I would come home and like wait for it.
Sick. No joke. Hell yeah. So, well, I hope I still have that effect. I got the Airsoft one coming out tomorrow morning. So
let's go, dude.
All right. I'm excited to tune into that one, because I want to see some of the gameplay. I know you were talking about the head cam stuff. Looks really cool. So excited for that. So let us know if you're a new listener here. You came to check us out because Ronnie's here. Appreciate it. Thank you for staying to the end. Let us, hit us up in a message. Let us know Rondon this week. But yeah, just let us drop that somewhere. Put it in a comment. That way we know you guys are sticking with us to the end of the show. We appreciate everyone who does. As we're glad that you enjoyed the content tonight. Also, I need Brandon. I need a cool guy of the week. Who's our cool guy of the week nominee this week, Brandon?
Our cool guy of the week. Oh no, did I lose it? Oh, here it is. His name is Brandon Johnson. This man, it's a great name, first off. But
a little biased.
Yeah. All right. This is a great guy of the week. This man used a knife to fight off a 525-pound bear. So,
so literally what we've been talking about. You found it in real life.
What
What?
kind of bear is it? What kind of bear is it?
yeah. Don't worry about that. All right. It was a 525-pound bear.
Well, hey,
That's crazy.
So what was his name again? Brandon Johnson.
Brandon Johnson.
That guy's cool.
Absolutely.
What's up,
Dude,
you got
that's
pics
cool
or
guy
what?
of the week.
This
Let's go.
Yeah, cool guy of the week. This was a little bit ago. It didn't just happen, but I just came across it, so it just happened. So
Perfect.
that's how that
Well,
works.
That's what we love from Brandon. His cool guy of the week. So Brandon Johnson, shout out to that dude. Let's go ahead and bring this home. I gotta remind you guys of all the great things that you could do to help support the show. Drop a rating. Takes 30 seconds to do, costs no money at all, and it makes us look good to the people out there. So hey, go ahead, do it. You literally could be done with it by the time I'm finished the sentence. On those same platforms, drop a subscription. So hit follow on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, hit subscribe on YouTube. It just will give you a notification when the next show is ready to go. So that way it'll be right there waiting for you. Head over to the Patreon. We have that at patreon.com/Mafia_Productions. Shout out to the dude who took Mafia Productions. But head over there, Mafia_Productions. You're going to get access to the show early. The second I'm done editing it, it goes live for our Patreon viewers. We got a whole bunch of extra bonus content waiting for people over there. The movie nights, like we talked about earlier. We also have a giveaway coming next week for our Patreon members only. So we're excited to kind of give back to those guys who have been supporting us throughout on the show. So if you want to get more information about that or see what's on or see what's up over there, head over to patreon.com/Mafia_Productions. Appreciate everyone over on there. Check out the merch over at xxvthelabel.com. And I actually have a new piece of merch on right now. I'll get up and show it off. But we have Stabbers Don't Get Stabbed. I have to like bend down a little bit and show it off. But yeah, so this was a logo that we had Yosh Designs come up with for us. And yeah, Michael Diaz helped us out throwing it on a shirt. So that's going to be up soon. It was supposed to be a World Cup release, but then he snapped his Achilles, and well, it's been a whole thing. But
Shout out to Diaz, bro.
We're getting ready to drop that. So yeah, check it out over there, XXV the label. Shout out to our sponsors. We got to mention them one more time. Liquid IV, your hydration multiplier. Look, if you're hungover, it'll work. If you're at a field and you're dehydrated, it'll work. It's great at that. It's got vitamins B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C. Going to get you hydrated as well as getting potassium and a couple other great electrolytes into your system. There's lemon, lime, guava, watermelon, passion fruit, strawberry. Those are the sugar flavors. They also have the sugar-free white peach, white grape, and lemon lime. Lemon lime is my favorite. I always recommend that one. But go check them out at liquidiv.com. Get yourself 20% off using code Mafia_Moffitt and then free shipping as well. Liquid IV, we appreciate you guys. You're always supporting the show. And NECTR Energy, NECTR. Brandon's got the two flavors there, ice mango and fresh mint. You can see them up there. Yeah, it's a little pouch. It's going to get you buzzed up and ready to go. It does look like a nicotine product, but full disclaimer, there is no nicotine or tobacco in there. It just has the same kind of form factor as like a lip pouch or something like that. The main ingredients are caffeine and a neurotropic called cognizine pseudocholine. There we go. I got it. I'm finally getting it, boys.
There we go.
Head over to nectar.energy, NECTR.energy. Go check out some of their awesome flavors they have. Like we said, the ice mango and the fresh mints one, but they also have a couple new flavors as well. And yeah, check them out, guys. Code Mafia Productions, all one word, just Mafia Productions. That's going to get you a buy two, get one free. And free shipping as well. So thank you to those two sponsors. Our last one tonight, we got to talk about Welts Clothing. Head over to www.weltsclothing.com. Use code not from the sidelines, just FTS. So just FTS, 3 letters, nice and simple. You're going to save some money and go pick up some awesome stuff from Scott Stewart and the boys down there. But that is it. I got through all of my things there. Feel like I did pretty good. You
crushed it.
It's a long list,
Nice.
but yeah, that's the job of being the host on this show. One more time, thank you. Here, let's give him his round of applause. Nope, that's a ham horn. Same thing. Round of applause for Ronnie. Appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Thank you, guys.
For our other two hosts, Brandon Brando Baird and Stephen Hatch, my name is Ryan Mafia Moffitt. We're going to check you guys out on the next one. Hatch, bring us home.
Bye.
See you guys later.